Well, it is a hot, blustery day here across the Upper Peninsula. A great day for high school football. Indeed it is. Welcome inside the Superior Dome on campus at Northern Michigan University here in Marquette, in what has really turned into an outstanding summertime tradition here in the UP. Alongside Ethan Schmidt, Mark Evans, we're glad you could join us here for the latest installment, Ethan, of what is really always a lot of fun and a great showcase for these kids. A lot of them seeing football probably for the last time in their lives.
Absolutely, and this is my first one. I didn't get the chance to see last year's event. Being here this day, though, and getting a chance to research a lot of these players that you and I may not have heard throughout the season, coming from Sault Ste. Marie, St. Ignace, places like that, it's a great chance to see some of these players that not even us got a chance to see during the season.
Well, the other thing, too, is the great thing about an all-star game, and we saw this a couple of years ago and even again last year, we don't really know what we're going to get because these kids have only been together for a week or so practicing with one another. It could be an aerial showcase. It could be a ground attack. We don't know, and that's half the fun for us.
Well, I know we're going to have two great running quarterbacks starting this game, Ozzie Corp, Nathan Nowak. Both those guys like to get the ball on the ground and go, so good chance there to see something like that.
So we're going to hear a lot of familiar names from a lot of familiar programs to a lot of you. We invite you to sit back and enjoy the telecast this afternoon, probably in air-conditioned comfort. It's a warm one in here that might play a factor as the game goes on. Nice to know the wind won't be an issue today, though.
Absolutely. The dome's up. I guess you could say that. It's always up, though, right? So a good chance to see a lot of these players, though, get a chance to play in the muggy conditions, and some of these players be here next year as well.
All righty. We are coming up next with kickoff. It's the UP All-Star football game. It's on the way here on Fox UP.
Number 6 from Westwood, Luke Gray. Number 7 from Marquette, Scott Tripp. Number 8 from Marquette, Alex Perella. Number 9 from Marquette, Patrick Burmeister. Number 10 from Newberry, Josh Hood. Number 11 from Gogebic, Caleb Greeno. Number 12 from Ishmael, Ozzie Corp. Number 13 from Lakeland Hubble, Arthur Lyons. Number 14 from Lakeland and Hubble, Blake Dupuis. Number 15 from Ishmael, Thomas Finnegan. Number 17 from Calumet, Sam Carradini. Number 19 from Baraga, Brendan Harleen. Number 21 from Montonagan, Matt Strauch. Number 22 from Sault Ste. Marie, Justin Fountain. Number 23 from Uintro Creek, Landon Mackey. Number 24 from Nagani, George Johnson. Number 25 from Westwood, Brandon Benda. Number 28 from Calumet, Robert Merkala. Number 30 from Ishmael, Halen Carello. Number 32 from Lance, Mike Anderson. Number 34 from Nagani, Owen LaJoy. Number 37 from Nagani, Jeffrey Matthews. Number 40 from Marquette, Jack Kochever. Number 42 from Ishmael, Number 45 from Hancock, Isaiah Bekala. Number 48 from Lance, Ryan Bupri. Number 50 from Munising, Brent Brock. Number 52 from Calumet, Jake Anderson. Number 54 from Westwood, Seth Tackman. Number 56 from Westwood, Trent Deans. Number 59 from Sault Ste. Marie, Derek Crane. Number 60 from Munising, Ian McGinnis. Number 64 from Houghton, Tanner Palumbo. Number 70 from Nagani, Matt Chandran. Number 71 from Sault Ste. Marie, Chase Bouchard. Number 73 from Ishpeming, Matt Malone. Number 74 from Lance, David Ravindran. Number 76 from Newberry, Austin Nimi. Number 78 from Lakeland and Hubble, Austin Zaratsky. And number 99 from Unison, Brett Johnson. The North head coach is Fred Bryant from Newberry. Also coaching for the North All-Stars are Fred Puckett from Newberry. Scott Erickson from Hurley. Andy Crouch from Lakeland and Hubble. Doug Hodges from Lakeland and Hubble. And Mark Lee from Lance. These are your North UP Football All-Stars. And now, join us in welcoming the South All-Star players and coaches. Number 00 from Forest Park, Adam Hilberg. Number 1 from Bark River Harris, Bryce Sundquist. Number 2 from St. Ignace, Andrew Goldthorpe. Number 3 from North Central, Brent Baird. Number 6 from Forest Park, Kyle Soderberg. Number 7 from Rapid River, George Canyu. Number 8 from West Iron County, Phil King. Number 9 from Bark River Harris, Alex Matthias. Number 12 from Superior Central, Elijah Passanen. Number 14 from Escanaba, Logan Lamb. Number 15 from North Dickinson, Noah Berg. Number 16 from West Iron County, Jake Polich. Number 18 from Bark River Harris, Jacob Greenfield. Number 19 from Forest Park, Connor Keserly. Number 20 from Kingsford, Ben Morrow. Number 21 from Forest Park, Jacob Donnell. Number 23 from Stevenson, Jacob Spotty. Number 24 from Iron Mountain, Luke Truscott. Number 25 from Escanaba, Hunter View. Number 27 from Rapid River, Mike Larson. Number 31 from Bark River Harris, Nick Dwyer. Number 32 from Kingsford, Wyatt Kaler. Number 33 from Kingsford, Sam Santee. Number 34 from Manistee, Will Pomeroy. Number 36 from Menominee, Nathan Nowak. Number 38 from Iron Mountain, Justin Rock. Number 50 from Escanaba, Brian Beam. Number 52 from Menominee, Drew Baxter. Number 53 from Menominee, Andrew Lananen. Number 55 from Bark River Harris, Dylan Drays. Number 58 from North Central, Brendan Gation. Number 61 from Engadine, Zach Cameron. Number 62 from North Dickinson, Brody Priestap. Number 63 from Kingsford, Zach Polo. Number 67 from North Dickinson, Lucas Joki. Number 70 from St. Ignace, Cole Guerin. Number 73 from Menominee, Adam Beiersdorf. Number 75 from Menominee, Sam Hartwig. Number 77 from Menominee, Logan Eakey. Number 79 from Rudyard, Brendan Staker. Number 80 from Escanaba, Danny Beneffen. Number 86 from Iron Mountain, Ryan Mishad. And number 87 from Rudyard, James Rosebrock. The South head coach is Matt Johnson from Rudyard. Also coaching the South All-Stars are Guard Kangas from Rudyard. Cody Kangas from Traverse City Central. Todd Kangas from Manistee. Brad Gravold from Norway. And Sam Eggleston from Superior Central. These are your South UP Football All-Stars. Now, please rise and gentlemen remove your hats and observe a moment of silence to honor all of our troops that are fighting for our country overseas and around the world defending our freedom. We would also like to extend a special thank you to the following all-star players who have enlisted with the military. Ryan Beaupre from Lance 48 on the North Army, and Andrew Goldthorpe from St. Ignace, number 2 on the South, U.S. Marine Corps. Thank you. We are grateful for your service to our country. The UP Football All-Star Game, as well as the entire UP, would like to extend our most heartfelt condolences to the family and friends of Mitchell Snyder of St. Ignace, who was tragically killed by a drunk driver. He would have been an all-star player here today and will forever be a part of UP football and a brother to these players. At this time, we are presenting his all-star jersey to his parents, Bob and Debbie. Now, please join Rachel Lohman from Ishpeming High School in the singing of our country's national anthem.
Formalities are out of the way, and a very good crowd inside the Superior Dome for this edition of the UP All-Star football game, North versus South. All the teams have been introduced, coaching staffs and more. And now Ethan Schmidt, it's business. Let's get some football rolling.
That's what we want to see. That's what we're here for. And this is going to be one of those games, like you said earlier in the pregame, we don't really know what's going to happen. It could be an absolute aerial attack. We might see something that we haven't seen from some of these players. And, you know, there's also a good possibility that we see that normal pound-the-ball football that we're used to with a lot of these quarterbacks, a lot of these running backs, and we know that.
Now, you touched on the open, two very, very good running quarterbacks. One of them is a couple of times state champion in there with Ozzie Corp, but that's going to be a real interesting battle early, how these coaching staffs utilize the talent at that key position.
I've got a chance to watch both Ozzie and Nathan Nowak this past season. Ozzie Corp, he reminds me of a guy, and I'm going to say this, and I know there might be some people who get upset, but he reminds me of Cam Newton-style quarterback. He's a guy who can stay in the pocket when he needs to, but when he runs the ball, he's going to give you what you need most at quarterback, and that's that extra push, that heart, that length that he has to get every first down, every touchdown. And Nathan Nowak, he's a smaller guy, but he has no problem running the ball. He has no problem getting in between the tackles at quarterback. You know what? He wears a traditional quarterback number 36.
Well, he's also a Menominee Maroon, and they build him a little bit tougher down there along the Wisconsin border. So it's going to be very interesting battle right there. So you see we're all lined up, getting ready to go here. Kicking off for the North will be Mike Anderson out of Lance, the former Purple Hornet, about ready to go. A couple of players back deep here for the South. The South is in the red, and they didn't get my memo from last year not to put black numbers on the red uniforms, which is from this angle almost impossible to read, but it's a short kick anyway. And it is brought forward by the South and down to about the 38, maybe crossing the 40-yard line, and that is where the South, and, well, you talked about our friend Mr. Nowak. That's where they'll start operation here this afternoon.
Absolutely. We're going to see a chance to see if he's going to run the ball. I think that's what, I mean, I would put a little bit of money on that we're going to see Nathan Nowak run the ball. But what about Justin Rock just fielding that little squib kick? And Justin Rock's one of those guys, you have to wrap him up because he's a big running back. He's a big fullback.
So here we go with the South versus the North. One more time here in 2016. Receivers on both sides. And no surprise, being a former Menominee Maroon, that they're going to run out of the shotgun. And again, it'll be Nowak. And he'll cut up and a gain of about 2 yards. Nothing too sexy about that one. But again, going to keep it simple early because in an all-star game like this, one of the key components is with any other ball game is going to be the turnovers.
Absolutely, and Chase Bosher, he was playing defensive tackle there. Little fact on Chase Bosher, he broke the record this year with the 225-pound bench. It was originally 23. It was an 8-year-old record. He broke it this year with 26 during the skills challenge, so a great job there coming down the line and making that tackle.
A lot of skills competition on Wednesday. We'll cover as much of that as we can get to as the South will shift the backfield a little bit. Nowak's going to drop straight back and look. Near sideline coming in, and almost a spectacular catch. Getting up high in the air, big number 80, Danny Van Effen from Escanaba, and he hauled in a lot of those for the Eskimos over the last couple of years.
Absolutely, and something that I've noticed with the South team, looking through the roster, Danny Van Effen, Ryan Mashad, you have those big wide receivers, and I want to say a little surprise here, a gentleman from Rapid River to kind of keep an eye on out there, a big guy, number 7, from Rapid River. His name was George Canyu, a good guy to watch as well.
So again, 3rd down and long here for the South as we're in the opening series here of the football game. And Nowak's going to drop again. He's got a man open here near sideline, not able to haul it in. Van Effen this time. Good looking route that came up a little bit short. We'll see our first punt of the football game.
Good coverage out there by Nagani's Jeffrey Matthews, who had a chance to really give him a little bit of cushion and had him try to make that play. Obviously, Danny Van Effen couldn't reel that one in, but like you said, an amazing route. Way to get some opening there, and I think we're going to see Nathan Nowak stay in this game.
Well, you mentioned Matthews. He's going to drop back in punt coverage along with Alex Perella from Marquette. And so the two Diamond Jubilee Trophy participants will drop back deep here, and it'll be Nowak, actually, I believe, here in the punt position.
Got that Ben Roethlisberger-style punt.
Wow, he gets off a missile. Tight spiral that Matthews gathers in at the 3. Going to change directions, not much room, maybe the 10-yard line. They'll give him forward progress, but a great punt and great coverage. I don't know if you saw that on camera or not, but that looked like a torpedo.
Absolutely, and like I said, it's what Ben Roethlisberger, you'd see him do. Line up, get your flankers out there, and just kick the ball as far as you can. And I think they actually had Patrick Burmeister out there, also deep to return, and a smart decision by Nathan Nowak not putting the ball in Burmeister's hands because Patrick Burmeister, we know that speed. Hey, he's the man, 100-yard dash champion here in the UP.
Ozzie Corp loves playing in the dome. Ishpeming just doesn't lose when they played in here under his tutelage at quarterback. And again, we're going to see a lot of very similar looking offenses, a lot of shotgun. That's what Ozzie Corp, what Nathan Nowak know very, very well. So deep in their own territory will be the first series for the North All-Stars. Corp fakes, drops back. He's got a man who's open, lost the ball either in the lights or didn't realize it was coming his way. That was Burmeister from Marquette. And that ball was coming to him, and he kind of gave up like he didn't think it was on its way.
Burmeister had about 2 steps on the corner out there. He was open. All he had to do was stick 2 hands out. That could have been a touchdown. I would say he might have been caught there, but he's one of those guys, you get him open, you get that speed going. Patrick Burmeister is one of those burner receivers.
So very, very little conservative action here from both coaching staffs so far.
You got to go for that first blood. That's what they're looking for here. Who can draw that first touchdown, get that first score on the board? And Ozzie Corp, we see him throw for the first time this game.
Burmeister out right again here for the North All-Stars, and this is what Ozzie Corp does very, very well. Unfortunately for him, it's read out by the South very, very well. Then a loss on the play of nearly 6 yards.
What a great defensive play just to come down. You see the line, the linebackers, they shift with this offensive line. They see that Ozzie's going to keep it. And Ozzie Corp, he's a big guy. You have to wrap him up, and that's how you do it. You follow down with there, you take away his holes, you take away his cut lanes, and Ozzie has to make a decision, and he just stretched out.
Well, we're more than likely going to get a look at the arm once again of Ozzie Corp as the North All-Stars are now back to about their 4.5-yard line.
And that was Phil King, who came over from the right outside linebacker to make the tackle on the left side of the field. What a great play by that linebacker out there.
Josh Hood is the receiver split to the left here out of Newberry. Corp going to go on a misdirection play, hand it off to Johnson out of Nagani, and he's got an opening up the right sideline and a first down for the North. That is a big, big run. I stand corrected. Dylan Tassin, I believe, is the ball carrier here for the North All-Stars. Difficult to see from this distance in this angle, but that's a huge run. I recognize the helmet.
Yeah.
That I can give
you. Knew it was a Nagani helmet. Dylan Tassin, one of those guys, if you watch Dylan Tassin's highlights, if you watch his film, he is a very shifty player. He's normally out there receiver, linebacker, doing things like that, but that play, well-designed, great blocking in front of him, and Dylan Tassin, he has the ability to burn you when he gets a chance. That's the first down we've had.
And it's interesting, you have an Ishpeming quarterback handing off to a Nagani tailback, and neither one of them broke out into a rash when it happened. So these are good things that happen sometimes in this All-Star game.
That's true.
Corp now back at quarterback on a first down, far sideline, going to wing it, and staying in bounds at least for a moment for the North All-Stars is teammate Luke Kulyu, also an Ishpeming hematite, and a good gainer for the North, 2nd down and 5.
Talk about one of the best connections that we've seen. Ozzie Corp knows 2 guys that if he throws the ball in their direction, they're going to catch it. Number 1, Luke Kulyu. Number 2, Thomas Finnegan. We saw that multiple times. Luke Kulyu, I feel he's underrated as a tight end. You see him more as a defensive person at linebacker. But when you get him out there, he has great hands, and he's going to make that type of play.
So the North digging themselves out a little bit of a hole here. They started this drive at their 10, got backed up to about their 5, and then thanks to that big run by Tassin, have got themselves 2nd down and manageable as they'll sweep it around to the right side near a first down, the North All-Stars. That'll keep the clock running here as we're down to about 12:40 to go here in the opening quarter.
That was Robert Urkela out of Calumet. And one of the things about Robert Urkela, he's small. He's a little running back. I mean, I'm not the biggest guy in the world, so I kind of understand where he's coming from. But when he gets between the tackles, you lose him. He makes that first step. He's got good yardage, and we saw that on that run right there.
So this is turning out to be a little of an impressive drive, starting off here for the North. Again, backed up deep into their own territory, and they've done it quite simply with the strengths of the kids that we've been talking about. A lot of cut plays, and Ozzie Corp doing what he does. Now he's going to duck it under center with a pair of running backs behind him. And they'll do this here on 3rd down and short. Inside handoff will be just enough for a first down, but I tell you, taking a big hit was Dupuis out of Lakeland and Hubble. He's got the first down, but boy, did he take a pop right there by the South All-Stars.
I talked to Blake during the skills challenge. I said, Blake, what are you looking at this week? Where are you going to be playing at? And he said, you know what, I'm going to play fullback. Here's one of those guys that he can do anything out there. He can kick the ball, he can punt the ball, he can throw the ball. A lot of trick plays out of Lakeland and Hubble, and Andy Crouch always gives a chance to have Blake make a play. And Blake is one of those guys, you will see, he's a very hard-nosed runner when he gets a chance to, but if he gets into open field, he's a menace to deal with.
So they will wind the clock here as we're under the 12-minute mark. to open things up here at a scoreless North-South UP All-Star game. South had the ball 3 and out. Some good-looking plays. They just came up short on their third down effort. And now the North moving the football with a split backfield behind Ozzie Corp. And a single receiver out to the left. Flag flies. That's more than likely going to be an illegal shift or an illegal formation here on the offense.
And that's one of those things Ozzie has to remember. He might not have been under center for a while. I mean, he just cut out a basketball season in track. So one of the things he has to remember is you have to make sure your guys are set before you can make the play happen. I think it'll be one of those things, just getting a little of these cobwebs off of you to start off with. Ozzie, one of those guys, great field general. We know that. He's a talented player. We know that he has a great mind for football, and I think that might be why he's heading to Michigan Tech.
I was looking at that formation, and I'm thinking the slot receiver on the right side needed to be up on the line of scrimmage and wasn't. And they are declining the penalty, the South is. There was no gain on the play, so that brings up 2nd down and 10. So 1st and 15, 2nd and 10. And the South coaching staff just electing to keep this on down to an illegal shift, actually, would be the official call. Wipe it off, wind the clock here in just a moment.
On the North, the South will decline it. 2nd and
And
10.
you expect little hiccups like that along the way, something like this. I mean, these kids have only been together for a week.
Absolutely. They have to remember, and like I said, they have to shake the cobwebs off. They haven't been out there a lot and haven't been in pads at least for a while.
So the North now on 2nd down and long. They give it inside, and it's just not there, but bowling his way forward. Big number 42, Kulju out of Ishpeming. And that's going to be 2nd down now, 3rd down and about 7.
Brody Priestep from the defensive line had a good wrap-up, just a great second effort by the run, 2nd and 3rd effort really on the run to just power forward, and we're seeing pretty much everything I feel like the North has. We've seen them throw now, we've seen them run an option-esque type play, and then we've also seen them just go right up the middle.
Well, if the North has it their way, we won't see everything because we're not going to see any special teams, but we're 1 down away from that being a possibility here. I formation for Corp. Single receiver out here to the left side. 3rd down officially, 6 here from the 40. And they're going to pitch. Left side, great coverage by the South. There's just nothing there as getting bottled up is the former Negaunee Miner, George Johnson. Great defensive coverage like on that play earlier in this drive on the other side of the field.
Andrew Goldthorpe, I had a chance to watch a little bit of film on Andrew Goldthorpe. He's one of those players, when he runs the ball, he's not always the best runner. But when he's playing defense, he has a great nose for the ball. He has ability to really read where the ball's going to be at. And just like we saw there, he's coming across the field, reads that well. He's coming down from almost a safety linebacker position, one of those roaming guys, and had a great chance to really get over there and seal George Johnson off.
So it'll be our first punt, and I tell you, the kicker could have easily walked his way to a 1st down as everybody backed off. Fair catch called for at the 15-yard line, and that's where the South will take over their 2nd possession here in a scoreless opening quarter.
That was a chance. That was a chance to take off. I would have read that well, and I know at that point it might be nerves, but when you see that opening and you see no pressure, you take off for that 1st down.
Well, the only issue with that, though, is if you're the only one that knows it's going to be a fake, then all of your linemen are illegally downfield.
True.
And that's a pretty easy call even for guys like us up here. But, hey, it's been entertaining so far, and it's been a lot of like we thought we might see. Just the strengths, like we said, of the kids that we've been talking about. Which coach is going to get out that back pocket, however, and kind of open that playbook that one of the players came in and said, hey, coach, let's try this. Because this is the opportunity to do something like that. Change of quarterback to the South. We'll get to that in just a moment. And up for near a 1st down, just shy. The South All-Stars with their best play from scrimmage so far.
Noah Berg's a great running back, and that changes Connor Keserly at quarterback, the field general from the Forest Park Trojans. One of the guys that he might not be the most athletic player, but he's definitely a good general out there on the field. He's going to tell you where you need to go. And we saw Forest Park this year make a great run deep into the playoffs, and that's one of the reasons right there. Connor Keserly and his never give up attitude.
And he will duck in under center with a receiver well out to the left side. Very tight formations for both these offenses so far.
Making sure that when that box is loaded, nobody can take over.
Inside handoff, well run by the South and to midfield and down. Biggest play from scrimmage so far here in the football game. And the South with a little bit, you really can't call that trickery because they went right at it, but a lot of misdirection in the backfield and breaking through Justin Rock at Iron Mountain.
Justin Rock, he's one of those guys, and you saw Matthews try to get that strip on Justin Rock. Justin Rock's a big body. You have to get more than just one arm trying to pull the ball out from him because he's going to run you over, and we saw that open lane. He's got good speed for a big guy.
So we saw the North move the football well. Now we experience a little bit of that from the South. Keseley again under center for the South All-Stars in red. North is in white, and they'll give second side of the pile and just falling forward. A good gain of about 5 yards. Like we said, nothing too complicated about that. And if you can make a play like that work, you can run it all day long.
And if you know that jersey out there, you might not recognize it because he's wearing 15. He wore 7 at North Dickinson for the Nordics. But Noah Berg, you've heard his name. Believe you me, you've heard his name because this guy is a fantastic runner. When he gets the chance to run the ball, he's going to put his body on the line to get that extra yardage.
Yeah, they don't do us a lot of favors here. Different jersey numbers, and the helmets are no help with 16 logos per helmet. But again, that's half the fun and half the charm. As the ball hits the carpet, and Keseley, I believe, got on that, but it's going to be a loss of around 3.
That comes down to the experience here in the Dome. I know I was sweating before this even started off. I was running some stairs.
Well, you're the one
first.
that ran 4 flights of stairs to come up here. There's this thing next to the stairs, this little box over there.
I didn't know how the elevator would run before, and I was trying to get lineups. It was one of those moments I didn't think too well, but I feel Connor Keseley's pain right now because it's warm in this dome, and Connor Keseley, he did a great job to recover on that and jump on the ball.
So we've seen this before, actually, from both of these teams. Now 3rd and long for the South as Keseley ducks in under center once again. A really short snap count, and again set it on the carpet, but picked it right back up. Guns at sideline, had a man open, turning around is Van Effen, but he's out of bounds by about a yard.
But boy, did he have a great catch. Danny Van Effen, he dropped that little out route on this side, probably a less complicated play. Then you turn to the other side, and he makes a beautiful diving catch. Here it is, check it out. Watch those hands. Just couldn't get 1 foot down to stay in bounds. And Danny Van Effen, a big target, a big guy to throw to. That was actually a great recovery play.
It was, and a lot closer than it looked at real speed. But it'll be our second punt opportunity for the South as Burmeister again from Marquette. And also back is the former Nagani Miner, Jeff Matthews. And so Nowak again will do the punting. He gets this one not nearly as good as the last. It bounces for the South, and they will pick it up. And again, we've seen this before at about the 10-yard line. We owe you a break. It's under 10. UP All-Star game is scoreless. Back in a moment here on Fox UP. Second opportunity for the North All-Stars now, as we see a lot of player personnel shifting in and out. But again, familiar territory for the North as they are deep in their own territory, and a set quarterback draw for the North is going to get them a little bit out of the hole here, Ethan. They're out to the 13-yard line.
And that's Nick Lacrosse of Sault Ste. Marie. Not a lot of great footage on him, but what I have seen, he's got a big arm. He's got the ability to drop back, really trust his line, and heave one. We saw him run there to start. We saw Ozzie throw to start, so maybe they're trying to mix it around, but Nick Lacrosse, he does have a good arm. You get a chance to watch him a little bit. He has the ability to stay in the pocket and make a play happen. Yeah, and we don't have heights, weights on the rosters that we have, but just look at the presence in the backfield. I mean, it's like immediately, and you know, it reminds you a little bit of Ozzie Corp, a little bit. They both got that tall, lean, strong look to them, and he's in shotgun now. And Lacrosse is back, and you talked about that arm. Here's a chance to show it off. That's a dart over the middle, and Burmeister had it thrown just at his back hip. Couldn't get anything on it to haul it in. It'll be a 3rd down now and about 6.5 for the North All-Stars. And it looks like they had switched Ozzie back in for that play, and like you said, they're both tall. Yep. They have that both height situation that we saw, and it was a good throw, just not on target where it needed to be for a Patrick Burmeister-esque player to catch a slant route or a post route and turn that upfield and be gone, if you will, because we know the speed by Burmeister.
Coverage was there also in the secondary for the South. This has been a very well defended game so far, and hence there we are, scoreless as we work our way through this first quarter. Slow moving first quarter with all the aerial attack that we've seen. As once again, it's Lacrosse now back in under center, and he will roll. Nothing there. He's got to get rid of it, and he lost the football too on the far side. May have gotten back on it. This is going to be a huge loss for the North. They're going to be punting from underneath their own goal post.
That was one of the best defensive plays that we've seen thus far in this game. A great outside move by the defender just to get around there and then make a play happen, force a play. And that was huge there. That was for the South. That was number 31, Nick Dwyer. He also jumped in on the skills challenge. I want to let you know that he wanted to catch the ball. First round, low ball. He didn't do real well. Got a little upset. Got a reprieve though. They let him come back, and then he didn't make it out of the second round. But that's what he's known for. He's a defensive guy from Bark River Harrison. A great job there to force that fumble.
So the North punting from deep in their own territory. And a decent kick that's going to bounce it around the 30. Big roll for the North. They're going to let this one roll. And Ethan, that's going to wind up being a 55-yard kick.
You know, the guy that he kicked it to, that might be the last person other than Patrick Burmeister that I would kick to. Sam Santi has a speed that I've never seen before, and not to mention, he's a big guy. He's got power as well. I watched him opening week last year. He's tackled in the end zone, but no, he wasn't. He escaped and turned into a 100-yard touchdown run. Sam Santi's one of those guys you have to be very careful with when you go to him.
So we are back to where we started here with Nathan Nowak out of Menominee running the offense here for the South All-Stars. A little bit of a delay this time, and he is going to run the delay and cut it right up the middle and gain 9 yards. And that's exactly what he did for many years down in Menominee.
Right there, get between your guards. And I want you to see right now, if you can look at the offensive line, that's 3 white helmets.
Yeah.
That's Menominee offensive line out there as well. And watch the run, just a great effort. He reminds me of a Russell Wilson-esque quarterback when I watch Nathan Nowak, because he's going to make a play happen, but he's not afraid to run the ball either. And that's what I enjoy most about watching Nathan Nowak.
He's got a fellow runner in the backfield with him now who also switches positions. Nowak's just going to look, drop back. And again, looking downfield and diving, catching, do they say complete? Yes, at the 20-yard line. And that right there is an all-star catch. Blake Dupuy out of Lake Linden hauls that one in. A very, very nice toss and catch in the South's in business.
I think it was Logan Lamb of Escanaba. Logan Lamb of Escanaba making that grab for the South team there. And Logan Lamb was one of those guys. He played his quarterback career, at least at Escanaba, not a receiver. He was listed as a running back on one of the state or the UP teams. But Logan Lamb, you see him come out of the backfield, make a beautiful catch.
And so here we are. This is the deepest penetration of either team. And Nowak looking. And he's got a man, Van Effen again, 22-yard line.
Back-to-back Eskimos.
Yeah, they're not pulling any punches with Van Effen. He's got the size, he's got the speed, he's been using the sidelines well, and now the South really starting to move into territory here.
And on the other side, Luke Truscott of Iron Mountain, he had a great gap as well on his corner. Could have gone either way, had more field there. I know why Nathan Nowak went to the shorter side, because he knew he could get yardage. He could have overthrown on the outside, but a great throw by Nathan Nowak.
So again, here he goes, cuts right up the middle. He's got plenty of room, and they're not going to get him. Touchdown for the South from 17 yards out. And like we said at the outset, 2 great running quarterbacks featured in this game. And the South All-Star strikes first, and they're up 6.
And that's what Nathan Nowak does. You get him a chance to get in that open field, and a great play. Watch him just open all the way. Nobody can bring him down. He wasn't even touched till he got past the goal line. Nathan Nowak of Menominee making the Maroons proud right now. And we have a huge Maroon section in front of us, and they're pretty excited, and they should be. Nathan Nowak, great play there.
Yes, when you hear what you think is a Canadian goose, it's not. It's our Menominee contingent down here in front of us, and they're having a great time. The only one thing that I didn't see this year that I saw the last couple of years was a bunch of tailgating. If it was too windy out there or what the deal was, but everyone decided to move the party inside today.
And I probably would rather be out in the wind right now.
Yeah.
It's a little warm in here. I don't know about that.
So we will line up the extra point here and get a last substitution in for the South. And now we've got a whistle, flag drops in the end zone. This might be delay a game. South really struggled to get everybody in on time.
Flag on the play, delay of game.
And so they'll back it up and make it a 25-yarder.
That's what's hard in an all-star game, because before a game in high school, you know, you go through your moments where coach says, who's on kickoff? Everybody stands up in the locker room, or who's on the actual point after attempt. And that's one of those things where, you know, an all-star game, you're going to be switching around a lot.
So the extra point is boom through the uprights. That's the missed shot out of Iron Mountain. And that looked like a lot of what you'd see on a Saturday afternoon here inside the Superior Dome.
Ryan Machad, I don't know if I've ever seen Ryan Machad kick an extra point. I mean, Iron Mountain, not always one of those teams that's going to go for one after a play. But I think they could have had a chance. Ryan Machado, great kick.
So that puts the South up 7-0. And again, for the North, really, here as we take another look at the last touchdown, really for the North, the key here has been field position because both of their drives have started around the 10. The first one, they were able to get it out to close to midfield, but this last one, way in the wrong direction. And for the North, forward movement is going to be what counts here. And again, we got a long way to go in this one, 5:33 to go, but expect to see maybe a little bit of a shake-up here from the North All-Stars, just to try and get some momentum going and get some control.
And I think you got two guys returning the kick right now that you would want if you're the northern side. You got Patrick Vermeister and Luke Gray. I actually ran into Coach Scott Surgila yesterday, and I said, what's the game plan? How do you win this? And he says, get the ball to Luke Gray. So this could be an opportunity to see Luke Gray, some of his first action that he's going to get. And Luke Gray, as we know, quarterback at Westwood, but he can run the ball. So this is going to be a good opportunity if he gets great blocking in front of him to turn something into good field position.
So Machado going to kick things off here for the South. And it's just going to be a squib that they're going to line up here at the 23-yard line. Short kick, and you talked about both these teams having dangerous kick returners, and both sides actually showing quite a bit of respect for that.
They must have watched some film, right? That has to be a don't kick to the guys that are quick.
What it does, though, is it gives the North something they've not had, and that's very good field position to start things off.
Absolutely. We saw that first drive that they had was down way around the 10-yard line, maybe even a little bit less than that. And North couldn't really, I mean, they got a good drive to start with, but it ended with a punt by Josh Hood. So the North now a chance. Ozzie Corp finding his way back under center, and a few blue helmets out there with them.
Well, Menominee decided to throw all the white helmets on the South, so why not line up some D7 state championship players and see what can happen. Corp's going to roll to his right. Now, Ozzie's dangerous here, running and throwing, but he's not going to get out of the grasp there. Great defensive play, and again, the South reading Ozzie Corp quite well.
Well, Phil King must have the number 12 written on his hand, because that's the second time he's come from the right side of the field and made it all the way across to stop an Ozzie Corp run. And Phil King, a guy from West Iron County, is a Wycon out here playing, and he was a running back at West Iron County. Didn't really see a lot of defensive footage of him, but I think he's doing really well today, to say the least.
Well, you can blame Luds for that.
I don't know if I can. I'll let you do it. I don't think I can.
I had to throw the dart. We can do that. It's an all-star game. We're here to have fun.
Absolutely.
And the North right now not having as much fun as they'd like. Second down and long. Corp going to delay his run, and this is Ozzie Corp at his best. Falling forward down to 40-yard line, and that's going to bring up third down and manageable, and a nice pickup here for the North All-Stars.
Somewhere I think I heard Jeff Olson yell, "Run ice." I think that's what I heard, and it worked. That's what you want to do with a guy like Ozzie Corp. Get him that delay, get him that chance to get up between the tackles. He's a big body. Like I said, he reminds me of a Cam Newton-style quarterback. He's going to reach out there and make a play happen. He's going to try and use his length. And I'm going to say this because I have a lot of respect for his center. Number 73, Matt Malone, if you check out a roster, he's only about 5'9", 175 pounds. But Matt Malone, he's a state champion center nonetheless.
Talked to Jeff Olson actually in the Dome before things got underway. He said this is his favorite kind of game. I said, what's that? He said, one I don't have to think. As the reception is made inside the 40-yard line, and Ozzie Corp with his first completion of the afternoon, and a big, big move here by the North.
Blue helmet, Luke Cooley out there. That's the guy. That's his target. I told you, two players he's going to trust in this game at wide receiver, and we know he's going to target a lot. Luke Cooley, who's made those catches through most of his Ishpeming career, and a guy named Thomas Finnegan, who we haven't seen on offense yet. But if you put both those blue helmets in here, Ozzie Corp can take you down the field and back if you need him to.
It's happened once or twice out at the playgrounds.
That's absolutely true.
Alrighty, so the North in business now. First time into the South Territories. We're down to 3.5 to go here in the opening quarter. 7-0. The South on the lead. Corp with a quick inside handoff. And not much room. Good tackle there as they tried to get Dupuis going, and it just wasn't there, and the South All-Stars really holding that for no gain.
And Blake, like I said, he's a great running back. He's switched to fullback for this game. He's a great guy. You get him a chance to get open, but right now he's trying to be that power guy, and he can do it. He really can. He's one of those guys, but I think Coach Andy Crouch might be sneaking over there and saying, hey, if we need to run a trick play, just let Blake throw the ball.
And I've been around enough of these All-Star games to know that something like that's happening. It's just a matter of when and in what situation.
Got to be scheming right now.
So second down after no gain here for the North, and Corp's got an I formation behind him. Everybody in tight, and a pitch left side. And now we're going to switch directions the other way. And again, all of that really, Ethan, for no gain. That's Urkala out of Calumet. Really had nowhere to go, cut back, looked like he was going to have a lane, and the South came over and shut the door on him. Absolutely no gain on the play.
Well, if you want to know, Robert Urkala was on the 2015 UP Dream Team, and that's one of those plays that got him there. He's a small running back. He reminds me of that Darren Sproles type. He's a very elusive runner, but you have to wrap him up because, as we would say back home, he's quicker than a hiccup, and you can see that when he runs the ball.
So third down and 10, ball sits at the 30. And Ozzie Corp with an extra little bit of attention. And he'll go out of the shotgun here on this third down and long situation. Have not seen a lot of pressure from the South, and as we say that, here it comes. Corp launching it, end zone open, diving, touchdown for the North All-Stars. What a grab out of the backfield is Dylan Tassin out of Negaunee, and the hematite to the minor. Never have those words been said in that order. And the North is an extra point away from tying things up.
Dylan Tassin is one of those players that you can't let him get that step on you, because when you do, he's a big target. He has amazing hands. He's a basketball player, so you know he can jump, but Ozzie Corp takes a shot before making that happen. What a play by both of those players, 12-2, like you said, hematite to minor. Ozzie Corp, great vision downfield, a great throw on the run, and just an amazing layout catch there by Dylan Tassin.
The extra point is no good, however, so it's 7-6. The South with the lead. We owe you a break. You've got it now. We're back for the opening, for the kickoff rather, after the touchdown next here on Fox UP. Now we come back here 7-6, the South with the lead, but that was probably one of the better drives you're going to see at any level of football just put on by the North.
And as I said a lot, I know we really talk about these two quarterbacks a lot because they are that talented. Ozzie Corp, he's going to make plays happen. I've mentioned that several times about how that field general is out there. Just watch the presence he has in here. He knows he's going to take a shot out there by Nick Dwyer, but he still makes a pass, a beautiful online target pass out to Dylan Tassin, and that's what's going to score you there, and that's what happens right there is a great throw, a great reception. Two guys who are very talented and were very talented for their programs, and those were names that we mentioned a lot on Friday nights when they were out there playing.
And I tell you, Goldthorpe's coverage, kid out of St. Ignace, was not bad. I mean, you can't really cover it better than that.
That was just a height disadvantage for Goldthorpe out there.
And so it'll be the North kicking off here, trailing by a point with an eternity to go here in this football game. And again, this time they are going to boom it deep down about the 10-yard line. And so the South with the lead, with the ball, with an opening. And here they come up the near sideline. Great move. And still on his feet is number 15, Noah Berg out of North Dickinson. That is the run of the day so far.
The Nordics had something special when they had Noah Berg. I mentioned that earlier. He had several games where it almost looks like he was about to break records. Watch this return. Finds a beautiful gap, great blocking in front of him. Alex Perella had no chance on him. And then watch that, a good way to shake off one tackle, and then he's going to lower the boom right there. No way you're going to bring him down just by trying to be the big man on the block. You have to wrap him up and bring him down.
35, make that the 40-yard line of the North All-Stars, and the South with the lead and with great position here to open up this drive.
What a run. Just a great hard-nosed run by Noah Berg.
And so the South, very simple play call off of right end. And that'll gain him about 1.5 yards. As Kesley back in at quarterback this time here for the South All-Stars.
That time Noah Berg only got a few yards, got a chance to, I guess, might have given him a break there after that nice run, but he's also one of those players where he's not going to ask for a break either. He wants to get the ball as much as possible because he wants to make a play happen, and a gain of about 1.5 there, I guess you could really call it. Not nearly 2. Maybe the nose of the ball gave him about 2, but Noah Berg, he's not going to give up, and he's going to try and make as many plays happen as possible.
So second down and about 8 officially here for the South All-Stars. Kesley's going to drop straight back. Look to the sideline, and there once again Van Effen up and got it down to the 10-yard line, and that's just pitch and catch football.
Well, the second time we've seen a quarterback take a nasty shot in the backfield but still get up and make a great play. and then another big receiver getting the jump ball opportunity, and that was actually thrown right into a great window. As you see, Kesley there just swings it, and Danny Van Effen right in between Nick Komet and Jack Kochever of Marquette, and the former Hematite and the former Redmond, they couldn't stop him.
Well, those two defenders know that receiver very, very well from their battles in the Great Northern Conference over the last couple of years, and a great toss, like we said. So clock goes back into motion here as we work our way towards the end of the first quarter. First and goal from just literally inside the 10 as they give inside. Not much there, but just bowling his way forward again. My goodness, gain of 3.
Noah Berg got that ability to run. He has the ability to be strong when he runs as well. And that play, though, you got to give some save there to the linebackers that were running in and just wrapping him up, because that's one of those things with Noah Berg. You might not be able to tackle him by yourself unless you go low on him. But if you get a chance to wrap up, even if it's up high, and get some help coming in from that secondary or the rest of the linebackers, even a defensive end turning around, that's what you need.
7-6 the South after 1, and the South looking for more when we come back. It's the annual UP All-Star football game. It continues next on Fox UP. Now back inside the Superior Dome, we will switch ends. South All-Stars knocking on the door. We don't have any numbers from that first quarter yet here, Ethan, but entertaining and as advertised so far.
Absolutely. We've seen the two quarterbacks that we've mentioned in the pregame. We mentioned early on Nathan Nowak and both Ozzie Corp. They have had touchdowns. Nathan Nowak doing it the way he knows best, between the tackles, running a 17-yarder, and then about a 30-yard bomb by Ozzie Corp to set up the first score for the North.
Well, the South has Berg again in the backfield with some company. They give to the other side of the tandem, however, and that's going to bring up third down, and well, they only gained about a yard on that play.
Justin Rock on the carry, and that's one of those things about Justin Rock. He's a big guy. You have to tackle him low. It doesn't matter if you're a big guy yourself. A lot of times a guy like Justin Rock, he's going to try and get lower than you, and if you're a defensive lineman, you're probably already at this point getting pushed up. So to get low on him, take those legs out. A great job there by this northern side to stop a big running back.
Third and goal. The far side is the long side of the field, and Kesley is going to work his way under center once again. And he is going to hold and look. Kesley to the end zone. Deflected through traffic, but still through, and a touchdown for the South, and they extend their lead now 13-6.
I'm going to say that was to one of his fellow Forest Park Trojans. It looked like it might have been Kyle Soderberg. Kyle Soderberg, a very talented tight end out of Forest Park, and I think that's what we're going to watch. But watch Kesley just buys time, and then just a beautiful job there to reel that one in. A body catch, and Kyle Soderberg, let's say he has a little bit of size on Nick Komet. We'll go with that. But Soderberg, that was a great connection that we saw through most of this Forest Park Trojan season, was a pass from Kesley to a guy like Soderberg, especially down in that end zone area, because Kyle Soderberg, like we saw, big guy, he has a big mismatch.
Here is Michaud once again, and Iron Mountain through the years has always had great special teams, and he makes it 14-6 now in favor of the South All-Stars. So again, we've seen a lot of mixing plays from both of these teams here, but when it comes right down to it, Ethan, it's been the fundamentals that have gotten it done for both the North and the South so far.
Absolutely. Get that chance to run the ball as much as you can, buy some time off that, get down to the end zone, and then run something that maybe the defense isn't predicting, something the defensive coaches haven't had their eyes on. And that was one of those plays. You got a chance to see Connor Kesley really take the pocket with him, and then he drops back, finds Kyle Soderberg across the middle. And we've also seen a lot of these throws. We've seen a lot of same helmet to same helmet in this game, especially between Ozzie Corp, Luke Kuyu, and then another quarterback to tight end combination.
Of course, but like we said earlier, too, sometimes the helmets don't really matter because there's so many logos and different colors on these helmets right now. Half the time, they may not even know who they're throwing to. But your point is well taken that we've seen a lot of great teamwork within the teams.
Absolutely.
And so it'll be Michaud to kick off once again. He squibbed his last one. And we will see him do something similar this time. He's going to punch this one down. And it is, I think that's Kuyu actually with the football here from Ishpeming. And he's out to around the 26-yard line, and that's where the North will take over there.
Luke Kuyu, he's a guy who wants to make a play happen, and that's a chance for him to do it. But I think if that one, you got a guy like Burmeister or Luke Gray behind you, you might let that one slide behind you. But again, you do want to field it because you don't want a chance for the Southern team to get down there and recover it. So a good job, a really heads-up play. However, that could have been one of those chances where maybe Luke Cooley could come up, try and get a block, and see if Luke Gray could make something happen.
So is it Lacrosse or is it going to be Corp? It'll be Lacrosse at quarterback here out of the Sault Ste. Marie Blue Devil program. And he has a receiver either side and an I formation behind him. Give to the second man through the tandem. And they'll just bowl forward in a decent gain for about 4 yards.
It's George Johnson out of Nagani, a great run up the middle and a very good second effort as well. It looked like he might have been stopped originally about a 1 yard gain. He turns it into a 4 yard gain. The very first time I met George Johnson, he was telling me his name was George Austin Johnson. I thought he said his name was George Awesome Johnson. So I'm sitting there and I kind of look at him again and he was like, yeah, George Austin Johnson. He starts spelling it and I was like, I thought you said awesome. He might feel that way, but definitely George Austin.
He has certainly pulled off a number of big runs in his career for Paul Jacobson and the Miners. And this is going nowhere quick, and the reason why, great read by the South defense.
Defense was in there. They were hungry on that play. The linebackers come through, and the name that we've called several times on this defensive end, Nick Dwyer out of Bark River Harris, just making a play happen and filling the hole like he's supposed to, coming over down the line to make a play happen, and that's what you want. That's what you need from an outside linebacker, downside defensive end, is really get up there and try and get these bigger running backs down.
Late substitution here for the North, and we've seen a couple of delay of game penalties already so far in the football game. Now I've noticed they're not using the play clocks here in the Dome, which is surprising to me. I mean, you got them, you might as well use them. We've already messed from 12-minute quarters to 15-minute quarters. I mean, what's one rule as compared to another? It'll be Lacrosse. He's got a man, Burmeister, there at midfield, and the former Marquette Redman hauls it into the South 47-yard line.
Well, the future Jackrabbit, I guess, is what we need to start calling him now. The future Jackrabbit, going to South Dakota State, Patrick Burmeister, has a great chance to pull off and show off those hands that we know that he has and that speed that we know that he has. A great job there just to get open and across the middle. And Lacrosse, I mentioned it, he has a great arm. That's a great throw. A little wobbly towards the end, but Patrick Burmeister, a great catch, and then the ability to get down knowing that that big hit's coming in for him.
And he hauled in a lot of those for Coach Dave LaHillier and the Redmen over the years. So great hook up there as it's 14-6, South with the lead, North moving the football, shotgun formation now, and a receiver again either side as the North across the midfield stripe, and Lacrosse doing what he does for about a yard.
Looked like he had a chance to go off the left side and originally went right, and that kind of broke down, tried to bounce it back out, but the defense just had a great fill on that side. I think you have we're seeing a guy like Nick Dwyer over there from Bark River Harris really shutting down that left side run if it tries to be there.
So that'll bring up second down and actually no gain here for the North All-Stars, as we're still second quarter and a long way to go in this one. 14-6 as we mentioned, and neither team really in much of a hurry here. There was a bit of a pace to this one early, but both have kind of settled into this one as Lacrosse is going to drop back. Here comes pressure, and he got bumped as he threw and overshot his man down the far sideline looking for Tassin, the receiver out of Nagani, and it was just out of his reach.
Dylan Tassin had Phil King beat. It was just overthrown, and that was pressure. That was pressure from the outside that really made Lacrosse have to step up and try and make a play happen that was there, but just maybe an extra second he could have made that online target throw. But just one of those plays. It was coulda, shoulda, woulda, but didn't.
So where do we go now if you are the North All-Stars? You're going to keep Lacrosse in at quarterback. Actually, very little personnel change on this particular sequence here for the North. They've kept pretty much everybody in that was in to start this series. And Lacrosse looking for a misdirection through the pass when that would have been a pass. It is complete, but it's going to be a loss on the play big time as they got Luke Gray out of Westwood, who was just fortunate enough to get out of there alive.
Nick Dwyer, again, you got to keep saying his name because he's making plays happen. Led the stampede there, led the charge for the Broncos, and that was a huge play by him to get through there to force that bad little pitch to Luke Gray, and then a great coverage by number 79 out of Rudyard, Brendan Steicher, a baseball player as well, Brendan Steicher, but a chance for him to get there and make a big play happen.
So the South is going to call a timeout here as they're about ready to receive the punt here on 4th down and 13. So the North, once again, a little schizophrenic here in this ball game. We've seen a lot of great things, but boy, when things aren't in sync, and they really pay the price for it.
Absolutely, and this defense from this South team, they've stepped up. They've really put a nose on the ball, and they're really bringing pressure on these quarterbacks. Guys like Ozzie Corp, guys like Nick Lacrosse, if you give them time, they're going to take advantage of that. And I think we saw that from earlier, but Nick Dwyer, big shout out to him in the first half. He's definitely been the defensive player so far for both teams. And we watch this again as Dwyer just comes in and has to make Lacrosse make a pretty poor decision, really, because that could have been fumbled and gone the other way.
So the South has figured out what they want to do, and I kind of put an exclamation point on this one because I even know what they're going to do. They're going to put Berg back there to receive this punt.
Absolutely. Put Noah Berg back there, and next to him is Sam Santi. It's the double-edged sword. Who are you going to give it to?
As the snap is back and a pop-up of a kick, and this is going to be just everybody get away from it. And this will be the first time that we've seen the South pinned way back, and that ball actually bounced about 40 yards diagonally and landed and stopped 2-yard line.
That was a good punt. That was a great, well-placed punt. It was a smart decision. Get it up in the air, make sure that there's no chance for a guy like Noah Berg or a guy like Sam Santi to get open in open field, because they can burn you when they get that ability. We've already seen Noah Berg do it once. Yet to see Sam Santi, and I'll tell you one thing about Sam Santi, one of the plays that you really have to watch for is a comeback screen. He's one of those guys, he gets behind those blockers, and then you lose him. He's a big guy, it's hard to lose him, but you do, and he takes off.
So Nowak is back into quarterback here for the South All-Stars, as they are deep in their own territory. Officially, this ball is marked at the 3-yard line. He's got Lamb in the backfield with him. He'll shift position over to the right side. And a low snap. Nowak picked it out of there, and they gun it up here the near sideline. Got a man open and down to the 30-yard line. Great toss, great catch. Hauling it in is Berg, and again, the kid out of North Dickinson having himself one great UP All-Star football game so far.
We've seen him run, we've seen him return kicks, and now we're seeing him catch almost 20, 30-yard bombs down the field, and that was something that we were really excited about. Watch this again. Just a great throw by Nowak on target. Matthews gets turned around. He can't stop him there. Noah Berg doing the old reel it in, 2 hands, trap it to your body.
So the South out of their hold, out of the 30-yard line, and Nowak doing what he did for the Menominee Maroons, but he only got about 2 yards out of this one. A good coverage and a pile of white jerseys knocking him back.
That was Thomas Finnegan and Chase Bosher leading the charge there as they got low on Nathan Nowak, and they did a great job to wrap those legs up. If you take away Nowak's legs, you're going to make him go to the air. We've seen him go to the air. He's done well, but you take away his legs on these run plays, and he's going to have to start trying to drop back more.
Luke Truscott brings in the play from the south sideline. Truscott out of Iron Mountain. Van Effen, always dangerous. He is split well out to the right side here. Nowak will call it out, and Lamb will switch positions in the backfield again. Nowak looked like he was going to make the run. Now he's in trouble. Gets out of trouble. Pops this one down the far sideline looking for Van Effen, who again had to be out of bounds. Almost came up with it anyway, but again, I tell you, the quarterback again, Nowak under all sorts of pressure that time, still able to get it away.
That was Munising's Brett Johnson, who's heading to Northern Michigan University next year. And Brett Johnson, a big, talented defensive end. He disrupts plays. That's one of his main talents that he has, is really to disrupt a play. On that play in particular, he still follows Nathan Nowak and then puts a helmet on him to make sure that Nathan Nowak has to make a tough throw, which it was a tough throw down the field.
We've seen many 3rd and long, and we've got another one here, 3rd down and 8 here for the South All-Stars. Ball sitting right at their own 33-yard line. Nowak is back, and he's got time. Now pressure. And he's going to float it up the sidelines here looking for help, and a couple of white jerseys and Marquette Redmond helmets right there to knock it away.
Great play by the safety, Jack Cheever, to get up in the air and knock that one down. You didn't need the interception. All you needed to do was knock the ball down, so that way there was no chance for a tip drill or anything like that. A great job there. Alex Perella had the original coverage there from that linebacker spot and got great help by his fellow Redmond over the top.
So Burmeister out of Marquette, Matthews out of Negaunee. They are back for the North All-Stars to receive the punt. North trailing 14-6 here in this one, as we are working our way towards halftime here at the Superior Dome in Marquette. And Nowak will again handle the punting chores, and again, got to keep that in mind. I don't think they're going to do any faking with it, at least not just yet. as this ball backs up like it was a 9-iron onto a soft green. So the North will take over when we come back. They trail by 8 here on Fox UP.
The North will take over 1st and 10.
It's been the defenses so far here in this All-Star game, and that's usually a rare comment to make at any level of All-Star game, but so far both defenses playing very, very well. The North All-Stars will get another crack at it here with Ishpeming's Ozzie Korp in it, under center rather, and a split backfield behind him. And he's going to roll. Pressure once again. Ozzie showing off the arm. This one's coming up a little bit short. Almost picked off. Great play by Burmeister, the receiver, actually turning into the defender on that one, or that's a pick going the other direction.
And I believe that's Kaler of Kingsford. Wyatt Kaler getting a chance to get up there, almost a chance for an interception. And then Patrick Burmeister ripping it out of his hands, and almost a chance for Burmeister to turn that into a ridiculous catch, but did not go down the way that Burmeister wanted to, or Kaler, because Kaler thought he had a chance for a pick. I know he's got a big family following. The Kingsford crew, they're kind of close to the Menominee crew. I know that's weird to say, especially since we know the Menominee-Kingsford kind of growing rivalry that's been there, and those trips down to Menominee.
Well,
and
you had the father-son connection there with the Holfers for so many years too, so yeah, that only added to that dynamic.
Absolutely, and now they're separated though. They made sure that Kingsford and Menominee were a little separated in the stands here.
Korp under center, takes the snap and just puts his nose into the offensive line, and away he goes for 8 yards.
And that's a play that we know so well for Ozzie Korp. He's a big guy. It's going to take a lot to bring him down. You're going to really have to wrap him up. When he gets between the tackles, he's deadly every time.
So 3rd and manageable here now for the North, trailing 14-6. And things really settling down. Like we said at the outset of this, you don't really know what you're going to get, but these two teams have really settled in, and this is turning into a very hard-nosed, entertaining little football game so far.
Absolutely.
And we've got a whistle, and I believe the North is actually going to take their first time out and talk things over. This is actually kind of a key play here because the time left, there's plenty of it. You don't want to give the South a whole lot of room here. You want to get this first down. You want to make sure you're doing things moving forward here because of the position of the field, too. As you're approaching the 50-yard line, then you get into that no man's land. So we got to figure out what's going to happen here and just talk this over and settle everybody down. That's exactly what the coaching staff decided.
That's a smart decision as well, because you want to make sure that you maybe not run a play that this South defense is going to read into. However, you do know a play that should work for you, and it's number 12 up the middle. We know that. We know that that's a play that's worked well for this team. And if I'm that coaching crew over there, I think I might keep this ball in the hands of Ozzie Korp, because Ozzie Korp, he can reach and get you at least 2 yards himself. So I mean, that's one of those things that you might want to keep definitely in the back of your mind. You put him there and see what Ozzie can do when he gets the ball and when he makes that extra effort that you know he's going to put into the play.
Well, a player like Korp and all the Ishpeming players and anybody that's played them knows that one of the things they did best was just do what you do, do what you do, do what you do, and eventually they would just wear people down.
Absolutely.
So we'll see what comes of this, because now Ozzie Korp has even more weapons at his disposal, which is scary in a way, actually, for both of these teams and all 4 quarterbacks that we've seen so far.
You add in that Dylan Tassin, that Patrick Burmeister, even a guy like Josh Hood, who's on the field right now from Newberry. You add those players in, and Ozzie Korp has a lot going for him.
So here it is, pretty key play here in this second quarter. Pair of receivers out to the left, and there you have it, number 12 up the gut, and he's going to come up about a yard shy. Good defense here by the South, as maybe they heard you talking a couple of minutes ago.
They had to, because that was one of those plays, like I mentioned, Ozzie Korp, he has the length to reach and get you about 2 yards with his arm alone, and that's what he did. Now we're just inches away from a first down, and you know what, I would imagine that might be number 12 yet again.
Well, he stays in the ball game, and looks like the North, just inside their half of the field, is going to take this effort here on 4th down. Officially, it is 4th and 1. From my angle here, it's about 4th and 4 inches. They don't need much. Ozzie Korp finds himself a hole, right side, spins away. Ozzie Korp gains himself about 9 yards, and the North converts on 4th down to the 45-yard line.
And that's the play that's going to work for you. That's Jeff Olson's bread and butter as well. You get the ball into 12's hands, he's going to make a play happen for you. I've talked so much about his athletic ability because he is an athlete. He's a football player. He's a basketball player. He's a track runner, and you can see here he's just hard to handle. You have to give credit to Phil King. He could have Ozzie Corp could have still turned that into a little bit more, but the fact is if you don't get low on Ozzie Corp, you can't bring him down. You have to take away his legs, much like they've taken away Nathan Nowak's legs in some of his runs.
So Ozzie Corp now under center here for the North, fakes the swing pass to the right, a little hitch up the sideline. It is juggled and dropped, and the reason it was dropped was great defense. The receiver there was Anderson out of Lance, and there was just way too much red jersey down there.
You had Goldthorpe over the top, and you had Kaler underneath on Anderson. That's a hard play to make no matter who you are. I mean, you have to really get your hands on there, but Goldthorpe got his arm through there late, and early on it was Kaler just staying in front of and near Anderson to make sure that play had to be something he really had to go up for. A great decision, though. Ozzie Corp had the right intentions to go towards a big receiver like Anderson on the shorter defensive back, but Anderson has to reel that one in as well.
So 2nd down and 10. Ball sits right in the middle of the field, and this time the give in the backfield, and the run is good for a couple of yards. That's Gray out of Westwood, and he's forward for about 3, 3rd down and 7.5 or so here for the North.
Well, you know, Luke Gray, he was a quarterback at Westwood, but being a quarterback at Westwood, you're pretty much just another running back. I mean, that's what you get. You get in there with guys like Brendan Benda and those players who are really good, and that's pretty much what Luke Gray's known for. He's known for running the ball, but more from that quarterback position, from that shotgun pistol formation. Not really used to getting the snap and then having to take the handoff and then go for it, but still a good little gain for a guy who's not really a running back.
But it does bring up an interesting play on 3rd down and 7 here. What does the North have in their bag of tricks for this one? Trailing by 8. Corp now familiar territories. He's out of the shotgun. Looks to his left. Not much there. They'll swing it out of the backfield. And a little cut there, a little juke move. Ball's on the carpet. It's down. And I believe the North has fallen on it. It's going to bring up 4th down at about 4.
And that's Robert Urkela. He's a hockey player from Calumet as well. He's on that really good Copper Kings team this year. And Robert Urkela, he's a goal scorer, and I think a little bit, you know, you put him on skates or you put him in cleats and he makes plays happen. And that was one of those plays where, yeah, he had a chance where he could have turned it up even more, but out of the backfield, you have a linebacker looking at you, you have corners and safeties looking at you out of the backfield, and Robert Urkela, I think he got the best of that one.
Well, if you went for it on 4th and 1 inside your own territory, odds are you're going to go for it on 4th and 4, and they do here from the south 40-yard line. So Corp gets the pass back from center. His coverage breaks down, guns it upfield, and it's incomplete. Well covered by the South, and the North turns it over on downs here. It'll be 1st down for the South.
And that was a play going right for Luke Cooley, one of his main targets. Ozzie Corp likes to aim for Luke Cooley, and that was a moment where even Luke couldn't really pull that one in. It would have been a spectacular try if he did, but he just couldn't get 2 hands on it, couldn't get a chance to really get where he needed to be for a 1st down. And, you know, I do feel like Jeff Olson might have a headset. I think he said he wasn't thinking, but, you know, 4th down in that situation, and just a play more than likely that he would have called trying to get Ozzie Corp trying to find Luke Cooley.
Well, but you have to remember, too, Ishpeming didn't face a whole lot of 4th downs in the last couple of years.
Absolutely.
So here we go. It is the South All-Stars with the lead and with the football. And a sweep here to the near side. Berg once again chewing up some real estate as he gains 7-8 yards, crossing towards midfield.
Noah Berg, he's got a great vision for the field. He's one of those guys where he comes one way, sees out of the corner of his eyes, hey, that's a wide open area, cuts back to the middle of the field. Not many guys are gonna cut back to where all the meat is. Not many guys are gonna cut back into the dogs. But he does there and makes a great play out of it.
So Keserly's back in at quarterback, number 19 here in red. And he's got a pro set behind him and a single receiver in Van Effen out here to the bottom of your screen. And that's exactly where he's going. Ball's in the air. Here comes the defense. Van Effen got to it at the 20-yard line. Double coverage by the North All-Stars, and they still couldn't hold on and get Van Effen to miss that, and what a great catch.
Well, the former Panther there from Ewan-Trout Creek, Landon Mackey, just gets wrapped up, and Danny Van Effen's one of those guys that you really can't have him get open on you because he can make those plays, and you see it there. Mackey kind of trips up Jack Kochever. From the safety position, Jack Kochever was a little short as well. He's a little in. Had he been a little further over the top, more of a cloud coverage over there over the top of Danny Van Effen, he could have made probably a better play, but just a trip up there.
Keserly give, guess who? Berg, right side. He accelerates, he gets out to the 10 and tripped up just crossing the 10-yard line.
shoestring saving tackle out there by the defense, making sure Noah Berg doesn't go the extra effort into the next phase, which would have been a touchdown for him. He had wide open real estate. He could have made a good play happen, but a great shoestring tackle to bring him down.
Well, we see this just about every time the UP All-Star game rolls around. We have one kid who kind of starts to really take over, and so far it's been Berg here for the South All-Stars. They're knocking on the door again. So they line it up, and Keseley once again. Give inside, real quick handoff, sniffed out beautifully by the North. That actually may lose a yard.
It was a great defensive stop there. Alex Perello leading the charge from the Marquette Redmen. Got a little help from a Nagani Minor up the middle as well, doing some great defense out there to really make a stop. And Justin Rock, you have to get those bodies on him because he can run you over.
So a little bit of a change up that time thrown to the North All-Stars, and they hit that one out of the park. So Keseley's got his troops and ready to go here. They'll huddle up. Clock continues to roll here as we inch our way towards halftime of the UP All-Star football game this afternoon. Short side of the field is the far side. And split the runners behind him. Keseley's going to throw. Here comes the pressure. Going to gun this one up. Nobody home, just out of the reach of Berg coming out of the swing pass out of the backfield. And now it is 3rd down and goal from the 9-yard line.
We saw that play earlier, and part of me just now thought that was going to happen again. I really thought Noah Berg was going to make a great athletic catch, maybe a sliding catch underneath the ball in the end zone. But great defensive coverage there in the end to really get somebody over the top and make sure nobody catches that. That was Thomas Finnegan on the coverage there from Ishpeming. So we know Thomas Finnegan, he knows a little bit about playing that defensive role and really making sure that if he's in coverage to really take away that catch.
So now I believe another timeout called. This time by the, well, they got one official pointing to the north and one official pointing to the south. And I believe it is the North that actually took that timeout. It is, and they'll have one left here as we head towards halftime. So if you're the South, 3rd down and 9, 3rd and goal, and you've got, as they've proven, good amount of weaponry back there. What are you smelling here as we head into this play?
I feel the ball has to go in the hands of Noah Berg at this point. It's just Noah Berg has been that all-star caliber player for you in the all-star game. I know it's a little bit of a redundancy there, but the chances are Noah Berg, if you get him on a sweep, if you get him on a chance to get out there, and I know right now the North's saying, hey, if 15 touches the ball, put a hat on him. But the thing is if you get a chance to get Noah Berg into an area where he can either get to the outside, what you need from him at this moment is just maybe 5-6 yards. You get down even closer to that goal line situation. Then on 4th and goal, maybe you try and do like one of those quick passes across the middle again, or you try and give the ball back to Berg. But he is a player that I feel in this moment the ball needs to be in his hands. I know Justin Rock's been solid, but that's a guy that I would definitely get this ball to.
Well, there's also another trump card in there for the South. They've got Ryan Michaud, who's done a real nice job kicking the football so far. They're well within his range. So we will see how this all comes to be. As the South now, guess who? Berg wrapped up. He falls forward to the 5, and that does open things up a little bit here on possibly a 4th down, unless they bring in the kicking unit, which apparently is what the South is going to do.
Ryan Michaud makes his way out there, and he's going to get a chance to show off a field goal. And I believe Jacob Mongrain was the kicker at Iron Mountain this year. He was on the, I believe he's the kicker on the Dream Team. He's not at this game, of course, but he was, I believe, the kicker for Iron Mountain. So maybe Ryan Michaud was like, on the phone last night, he was like, hey man, what should I do if they tell me I have to kick? And maybe Jake was taking him a little bit through the process of what he walks through. So I believe, I might be wrong on that, but I believe Jacob Mongrain also handled some kicking duties as well as being a receiver for Iron Mountain.
23-yarder from just inside the left hash mark, and we've got a whistle. And now the South thinking, we've got a pretty good guy out there kicking, but what can we come up with here on 4th down? Maybe we'll go to the committee and see what happens. It is officially 4th and goal from the 5-yard line here for the South All-Stars, already leading by 8 points.
As a guy who once played football, once held extra points, I tell you in this moment, that holder, he has to be thinking, hey, let me do something fun. Let me do something. This is an all-star game. It's early on, but let's put that dagger in kind of quick. Let's see what we can do. And Phil King's the guy who's holding it, and I got to watch a little bit of Phil King this year, watch some of his highlights. He's a fast runner, but he's not afraid to lower the shoulder. And in a moment like this, maybe make something happen. Ryan Machad, I'm sure he could roll out and try and throw something up if you put a Danny Van Effen or a Sam Santi out there as well. You know, maybe you go for a trick play. It's 4th down and 5. You're on the 5.
It's an all-star game.
Absolutely. You go up. You can either go up 17 or you might not score. You could go up 21-6, whatever it is going to be. You know, that's what you want to do in a game like this. It's about having fun, and I think you got a guy like Phil King who could totally turn this into a holder around, if you will.
Well, we'll see what happens here because they line up to kick it here. Again, a 23-yarder from just inside the near hash mark. Ball is back on the tee. It is blocked by the North All-Stars. And through all of that timeout here, timeout there, we wind up with nothing. It stays 14-6, and the North with a little momentum builder heading towards halftime.
Well, you don't want to poke a dagger into Northern Michigan since we're here, but we do know that Northern Michigan lost Michigan Tech this past year on a blocked field goal, but a guy that they picked up, Brett Johnson of Munising, you saw him come in there and make that block. I think Coach O right now, he's pretty happy then that pickup by Brett Johnson because now he has a guy who might be able to return the favor.
That, of course, coming up in 3 months?
It's a few
Gonna
months
be
away,
here
but
before you know it.
You know what? That's a good thing about football season. It always seems to come back right around when you most desperately need it.
So the North now, with 2:33 to go, one timeout in their pocket, starts off after the blocked field goal right at their own 20-yard line. Lacrosse again out of Sault Ste. Marie. He is the quarterback, and they're going to give to Johnson in the backfield, and cutting up at a gain of about 7 or so here for the former Negaunee Miner.
And George Johnson, he has the ability to make several good cuts before he's even touched once. And you saw back there, he got a chance to run, and then he makes a quick move to get back up to the next level. And at the next level, he's finally brought down. But a good pickup of 7 or 8 yards there by George Johnson to really get this offense going. I mean, you're almost in the 2-minute drill now.
And you've only scored the 6 points so far. And again, usually in an All-Star, I mean, last year was 41-24, right around in there. There's a lot of scoring, but bulk of that actually happened late in that ball game. So, again, a lot to go here as they give inside and cutting for a first down. And for the North All-Stars, that's Lamb, or make that, that is Dupuis out of Lake Linden. And again, the North very content to just keep this on the ground. And like I said, nothing too sexy about it. Just push forward and let's go.
And that's what I mentioned about Blake earlier on. If you can get him into the open field, he's a hard-nosed runner, but he also has those quick shake moves, and we saw it there where he gets open and picks up a nice first down.
Burmeister is split right. Lacrosse under center, and now he will have a quarterback draw, go forward, and still forward, and more, and a gain of 14 on the play.
Well, Bryce Sundquist might want to shake his hand afterward because Bryce Sundquist of Bark River Harris, he was ran over by Nick Lacrosse. And now here's the hurry. Here we're going to see Lacrosse back in the huddle, and I don't know if the South Side's going to get all the switches in that they need.
Johnson will join Lacrosse in the backfield. Burmeister again split right. Pair of receivers out to the left here for the North All-Stars, who all of a sudden have a little bit more sense of an urgency. And a timeout called by the South to maybe kind of slow things down a little bit.
We saw after that play, Nick Lacrosse, he just ran right back to the huddle and said, we need to go, we need to get going. Immediately start calling the play. You were still seeing players come in off the sideline. You know, there is a quarterback that likes to do that and likes to take advantage of that in the pros, a guy named Aaron Rodgers, who likes to get back there and really try and get that defense before they can get off on the sidelines. And I thought that's what Lacrosse was aiming for. And then, of course, Burmeister kind of slowed down the tempo to get back out and set. And a good job by Lacrosse, though, to make sure all of his guys were there and made sure that, you know, he wasn't going to get a penalty on his own team, because that's the last thing that the North needs right now.
Well, and being from that far in the eastern part of the UP, odds are he's not an Aaron Rodgers fan.
Absolutely not. He's definitely watching
Doesn't
Matt
mean
Stafford.
you can't admire it.
That's
but
true.
I'm thinking more Matthew Stafford over on that side, like you said.
Yeah, exactly. He might have actually got mad at me for saying that, you know, the Aaron Rodgers-esque style. But you know what? Hey, that's okay. I'm sure, you know, he would take the compliment anyway.
So what this does is it lets the South kind of catch their breath a little bit. The other side of the coin on this one, though, is now the North has 2-3 plays possibly called here as they try and move downfield.
And that's what you want in that hurry-up offense. And that's where only having a week to prepare really takes away from that chance to really get into a 2-minute drill and know those quick words or quick catchphrases to go.
So Lacrosse backs out, And now he's got to scamper out. He's looking. He's got a man open. Burmeister is there, caught it, and he is gone. A touchdown for the former Marquette Redman, and a 2-point conversion will tie it here for the North late second quarter.
That'll put a smile on your face. Patrick Burmeister, he's so fast, he overran the throw. He was past it, and he slows down to catch it. Patrick Burmeister, I'm not just saying this because he might have beat me in a foot race. I'm not just going to throw that out there that Patrick Burmeister is a great player because he absolutely destroyed me in a race of the 200-yard dash. But when he gets open on the field, he's going to make a great play, and you're going to see that here. Just a great throw by Lacrosse, jumping the throw. Burmeister catches it. As he turns around, he's running backwards, catches the ball, and then he's off to the races. He didn't even have to go to the races, but a great job there. You see Lacrosse, just a beautiful throw.
Watch the pirouette.
Balance.
Yeah, he had to actually make a 360 little move to make that catch. The North opting to go for one. Pass back is a good one, and the ball is up and through. And it is 14-13, and we owe you a break as we head towards halftime. It's a 1-point UP All-Star football game. Back for the kickoff in a moment here on Fox UP. Now we are back in the Superior Dome, and another look at that touchdown toss from Lacrosse to Burmeister. And like we said, just a thing of beauty here, and Burmeister with that full spin and catch, and we, my friend, have ourselves a 1-point ball game.
That's a great play. You take it back, just watch Lacrosse, just the throw off balance, really heaving it up there, and then Patrick Burmeister having that wherewithal to turn around, know that he had to kind of step back, turn down the jets a little bit, but he makes a great play and then turns it into 6 points there, actually 7 points after the extra point.
So 1:06 to go here till halftime. And the North wanting nothing to do with kicking it deep, but it's going to wind up in the hands of Berg anyway. He's at the 20, and a wall of white jerseys there, and he still almost got away. Finally hauled down. Good play defensively there by Owen LaJoy out of Negaunee. And it'll be the South with the football. Not a lot of time to operate. 1 minute exactly here from their own 24-yard line.
You had Brendan Varline coming down there to help out Owen LaJoy. Noah Berg's one of those guys that might take you two people to bring him down, but in that situation, LaJoy slows him down, maybe not made the best tackle on him, but he did get a chance to slow down the paces there. And then, of course, a great job there by Brendan Varline to come in from Barriga. He's switching over from 8-man to 11-man, back to 11-man.
So here we go again. Nathan Nowak back in quarterback here for the South, and he'll bark out the signals with Lamb next to him, and it'll be Nowak, no surprise, cuts right, and looked like he was going to have a bit of an opening there, Ethan, but I tell you, great play defensively there by the North, and the clock's going to stay moving.
Great job to get down, and just that shoestring tackle to really pull him down. Like I mentioned, Nathan Nowak, he might not have the size of the Ozzie Corp or the Nick Lacrosse over there, but when he runs the ball, you have to take away his legs because he is that good when he gets to that next level, and when he gets to that next extra effort, he's going to make sure that he's going to cut back or make a play happen, and that's what we're going to see from Nathan Nowak. So a great job there to get down low and take his legs out.
So Nowak again calls it out, and he's just going to keep again to the right side, and wow, popped as he got to the line of scrimmage, a gain of a yard. And I got asked that earlier today. Well, these kids really, they're not going to be hitting that hard, are they? I said, are you kidding me? For some of these kids, this is the last time they've got that helmet and pads on.
Absolutely.
And so they're going to want to make an impression on somebody. And I think our friend Mr. Nowak just had an impression made on him by that hit as we head towards halftime. It's a one-pointer, and it's been that fun. 14-13 the South. We're back with halftime in just a moment here on Fox UP. Well, it has been that tight. It has been that entertaining, Ethan Schmidt, and I guess I can officially welcome you now to the UP All-Star football game, my friend.
I've been excited this whole game. This has been one of those moments where, I didn't really know what to expect. I knew that we're going to see some of the top talents. You look at both these rosters and you really saw a very heavily favored north side with a lot of great talent that we've seen throughout the years, or definitely this past season, but then we see this great South explosion.
Well, it's tight, and we'll show you some of the highlights and get rolling into our halftime here in just a moment. It's the UP All-Star football game at the half here on Fox UP. A very good crowd actually enjoying this one, and I don't know if you can hear it or not, but if you hear on your television what sounds like a dull, low rumble, that is torrential rain that is hitting the top of the Superior Dome here on this afternoon. Our broadcast here on Fox UP of the annual UP All-Star Football Game is thanks to the Western UP Regional Prosperity Initiative and Hands On Michigan and their CTE program. What exactly is that? It's career and technical education offering occupational training courses for high school students and prepares them for a wide range of high-wage, high-skill, high-demand careers, which are hands-on, rigorous, cutting-edge, and relevant in today's society. The world of education is changing quite a bit. Job vacancies are up 38% in the skilled trades in the last 3 years, and so these are jobs that students are getting trained for. Long-term projections show all skilled trade jobs expanding by 13 to 14%. Michigan right now has approximately 200,000 skilled trade jobs available with hourly wages starting at $20 an hour or more. 76% of CTE graduates surveyed said that they are using the skills they learned in their program in their major area of study or training in college or business or trade school right now. Healthcare occupations, many of which require an associate's degree or less, make up 12 of the 20 fastest growing occupations. The skilled trades are the hardest jobs to fill in the U.S., with recent data citing that 1,019,000 jobs open in the trade. Transportation and utilities sector and 315,000 jobs open in manufacturing alone. So CTE, career and technical education, is something that you should be looking into as a student. CTE keeps students in school. 93% of students nationwide who focus on CTE graduate from their high school. So our thanks to the Western Upper Peninsula Regional Prosperity Initiative and Hands On Michigan, our overriding sponsor here on Fox UP for the annual UP All-Star Football Game. It is 14-13. We'll show you how we got there in just a couple of moments. We're back after these on Fox UP. Well, back atop a very warm Superior Dome here on campus at NMU in Marquette. We're at halftime of the annual UP All-Star Football Game, and as we mentioned, 14-13, it has been close, and it's been as advertised so far, and the fun part now is what's going to happen here in the second half.
Absolutely, and most All-Star games are not as close as this, but we're getting a chance to see a very close All-Star game and a lot of talent out there.
We're going to take a look at some of the scoring highlights here from the first half, but it's been the defense that has been the difference here so far. Let's take a look as, again, right off the bat here,
Dylan Tassin, a great run. That was the first down of the game, but it was the Southern team. Noah Berg, he was doing his own impression out there, trying to get out to the outside. And then this is Justin Rock. A great run by Justin Rock right up the middle. A good run there to get some yardage. And then how about this, a fumble. Nick Dwyer forcing the fumble on Nick Lacrosse down at the 1 yard line. Then you come back and this guy, Nathan Nowak, we talked about him because he can run the ball very well. He did it in the Menominee Maroons uniform, and he's doing it today. Then a huge pass there. That's that was Logan Lamb catching the ball in the backfield from Connor Keserly. Great play there. And then Nathan Nowak, that was the touchdown right there. That was the first opening touchdown for both these teams is Nathan Nowak.
And like you said, no one touched him until he was across the goal line. But it didn't take the North long, and 2 words wide, Ozzie Corp.
Ozzie Corp's one of those players. He's very talented. You watch the blue-to-blue helmet there. That was Luke Cooley making the pass. And then watch that, taking a shot, but then finding Dylan Tassin, outstretched arms, beautiful catch into the end zone. Watch it again, just a great play by Ozzie Corp, putting it all on the line, and he finds Dylan Tassin, who elevates and catches at the highest point to bring that in for the score.
And again, like we said, hematite to minor, words that should never go in that order, but hey, it works in the All-Star Football Game, and then the kick return.
Noah Berg, he's the dream team running back for 2015, and you see the reason why there. He takes a mean shot, but he still got up and got a few more yards, and then it was Connor Keserly finding a wide open, well, not even wide open, just Danny Van Effen in the right little window, catching over everybody else, and then Connor Keserly, it's Trojan to Trojan. Kyle Soderberg there in the end zone.
And again, that opened things up a little bit for the South, but the North doing what the North is able to do, and a great catch here by a kid who's made them all season long, all fall long, Burmeister from Marquette.
Patrick Burmeister and Nick Lacrosse, they might be best friends, but this was one of those plays you worried about. Nick Dwyer, we were talking about that great defensive stand. He makes a poor decision there. It makes at least Lacrosse make a poor decision. Then he turned around. We talked about Noah Berg. That's a great catch by Noah Berg. He's been running the ball well, and he's been catching it well. But Ozzie Corp, you put the ball in his hands. That was a huge 4th down right there for Ozzie Corp.
And again, the North coming back, South answering, and again, a little bit of the air, a little bit, and a key play here for the North because this actually turned into points that could have been points the other way. Blocked the field goal, and then it's lacrosse, and he's going to gun this one, and there's Burmeister once again. Turns, the former Redmond goes into the end zone, and that put the All-Star football game right where we're at 14-13. South with the lead. But again, it's been the defenses that have really, we didn't get a lot of defensive highlights right there, but the defenses have really stood tall so far.
And Nick Dwyer from Bark River Harris, that's the guy that we've said multiple times. He almost forced 2 fumbles. He did have 1 forced fumble. He almost forced a second one on that lacrosse to Luke Gray pitch.
What'll happen in the 3rd and 4th quarter? You'll find out when we come back. It's the annual UP All-Star football game. Back in a moment here on Fox UP. Well, both teams back out on the field, and we are just about set to go here with the annual UP All-Star football game 2016 edition. If you are unfamiliar with the UP All-Star football tradition, it was rejuvenated back in 2008, and in those years it was East versus West. It goes back to 1946. The original All-Star games were played obviously outdoors back then and discontinued in the early to mid-1950s, and no one really knows why. But what happened was the coaches were not allowed to coach in All-Star games, so they brought coaches back in the 1940s and 50s in from places like Wisconsin, Indiana, and Ohio to coach what was then the UP All-Star football game. The more modern edition of it is just about ready to get the 3rd quarter underway. And it'll be the North All-Stars with the football and about the 25-yard line to start things off as Blake Dupuy again out of Lake Linden. Again, will get that kickoff, and we're not seeing anybody kicking deep really either with the punting game or the kicking game either.
And I think that was kind of settled when Noah Berg had that big return there in at the 2nd quarter on one of those kicks that were to the deepest man from that northern squad. But Noah Berg was having a great first half, and he'll look to continue that in the 2nd.
So the North riding a little bit of momentum here after that late touchdown 2nd quarter to draw within 1. They'll bring Ozzie Court back out to lead the charge here. And he has got Dylan Tassin in the near slot to the right side and an I formation behind him. And Corp's going to look it over, hand inside. Now pitch, great fake, got everybody looking the wrong way, us included, but getting tied up is Gray again from Westwood. And that South defense we talked about at the halftime, they're picking up where they left off.
And that was a great stop. And that's one of those things where when you read the option, you really have to make sure that somebody has the pitch man. And that was a great job to pick up the pitch man on the outside and not really focus on Ozzie Corp. You kind of read, I felt like Ozzie could have held that just a little bit longer and could have made a play happen. But a great job just to follow the pitch man and to take him out of the play.
So it is 2nd down and long. Seen quite a bit of these so far here in this football game. With a receiver either side here for the North All-Stars in white. As you see on your screen, the South with the lead in red. And Ozzie Corp will misdirection play. And they're going to run it here with Hood out of Newberry. And he's got an opening up the far sideline and a gain of 15 and a 1st down. First time we've talked about him as Josh Hood, Newberry senior, graduated senior, gets 1st down here for the North.
Well, you know, Josh Hood was one of those players, I had to look up a little bit of highlights on him. He has great hands. He has a great ability to jump up and actually make plays, but that's what you have with a guy like Josh Hood or a guy like Patrick Burmeister from that receiver position. You have the ability to do those end arounds, those receiver trick plays where you can pitch to the receiver as they go around, and Josh Hood taking advantage of wide open space over on the other side.
And here he is again, split out to the left-hand side, bottom of your screen. And Ozzie Corp, as he is known to do, out of the shotgun. And he'll get the snap, and he's going to roll forward himself. Gets an opening on the right side. And Ozzie Corp made a career at Ishpeming with that very play, and it's up again for near a North All-Star 1st down.
And you know something about Ozzie Corp, I imagine if I'm a small safety, if I'm someone like Goldthorpe who's over the top right there, watching a guy like Ozzie Corp come up to me, I might be a little nervous to try and take him out, but a good job there really of just trying to get low on Ozzie. Obviously, when he picks up that yardage, you know he's going to get a good amount, a good chunk of yards at least when he starts running the ball. But Ozzie Corp, I feel like I'd be a little intimidated when I saw a big guy like that running at me.
Boy, the North very, very late in getting this play in. They're going to have to make this fast on this 2nd down play rather. And they will approach the line quite speedily. And in the ball game again is Lacrosse now. And he's at quarterback, and he's going to move it up front, and he's going to get a 1st down. And the North All-Stars doing what they did earlier in the ball game, moving the football.
dropping his shoulder on the inside. That's not many quarterbacks, I would say not many quarterbacks elsewhere. In the UP, you see it a lot. You see these guys who are very tough, very gritty when they run the ball. These quarterbacks are not afraid to take a shot, and that's what happened right there with Nick Lacrosse. Just got right through the middle, lowered his shoulder, and he took a few guys with him.
Now, I made a prediction off camera for this second half of play that 14-13 going in the third quarter, we might see both teams kind of dial it down a little bit, and they are keeping it on the ground. The North All-Stars are for a gain of about 7. Is falling forward as Lacrosse once again, and he's going to bring up second down in about 3 or 4 here for the North.
Well, it's good to see a guy like Nick Lacrosse. You know, you don't really, like we've mentioned earlier, we don't always see players from the Sioux or players from St. Ignace on our everyday broadcasts, but this is a great opportunity to see a guy like Nick Lacrosse, who's he said he's planning on attending Michigan State next year. So, you know, I'm sure he won't walk out there or try to get on there with on D'Antonio's crew, but
hey,
he has the opportunity. We're seeing him here in this All-Star game show off a little bit of talent here. Always a guy who could walk on and be one of those ATHs on there for a little bit, turn from an athlete into a position player or whatever he chooses. But right here, he's showing some great opportunity.
It'll be the North on second down and 4. Lacrosse looks, waits. Now he runs out of real estate, and he's going to have to move forward. He will for, guess what, a North first down.
I'm going to tell you right now, someone that's a little upset, Patrick Burmeister. He was on a seam route, and he was gone. There was nobody around him. The nearest helmet might have been blue, but that was Luke Couilleu's helmet. That was the closest person to him. He was wide open downfield, but Nick Lacrosse putting his wheels in motion here, getting a chance to run the ball, and like I said, not afraid to take that tough shot. But he had a great opportunity downfield, just couldn't see it.
The North has never led in this ball game. South opened up the scoring, even extended their lead earlier at 14-6 at one point. Late second quarter touchdown for the North. If you're just joining us, has put us in this 1-point situation here third quarter. And Ozzie Corp out of Ishpeming started this drive. Nick Lacrosse now out of the Sioux. And he gets the snap from center, guns it over the middle, and it's picked off by the South. And there's a lot of real estate in front of that play, but it's caught up by the North All-Stars. And boy, I tell you, Lacrosse had a guy open, just basically undershot him.
Well, that was Phil King. And Phil King, I've mentioned him a lot on his defensive ability to stop the run. Now he drops back into coverage, and Phil King, a little bit of a poor read there by Nick Lacrosse. I think he was just trying to throw to an area. Watch here as he drops back. He was looking for Burmeister, but Burmeister stumbled in the beginning that he got kind of chipped by a linebacker. But Phil King was there. He's open. He catches it, and a great return on that interception. Just a great being in the right place at the right time moment for Phil King, and he capitalizes there. But Nick Lacrosse, a great saving tackle as well.
And so here we are with the South All-Stars in business. Noack is back in at quarterback here for the South, and he's just going to look over left tackle, and he's got another opening, slippery little runner, and he's got a first down and a lot more. And Noack, again, just doing what he did for the Menominee Maroons this time around for the red jerseys South All-Stars, and a big gain for them of exactly 20 yards.
Nathan Noack, he has that speed, and a lot of times they try to tackle him high. As I've said, you have to take away his legs. You can't let him run up like that. There is some laundry down on the play right now, but I think Nathan Noack, check it out one more time. Just Coach Cheever tries to wrap him up, doesn't have anything, and Graves can't bring him down either.
So a long discussion here with the officiating crew. This is going to be against the South as they're talking to the captains here from the North. And was looking for something on the replay that I just didn't see it there, but I'm thinking this is going to be an illegal block or something upfield that's going to bring this football back. So it goes from a gain of 20.
That's a holding, and that's one of those outside
downfield
receivers. Yeah, that's one of those things where you get a receiver trying to stock block on the outside, and they hold on just a little too long, and you see that's where it was. Jeffrey Matthews getting held by Ryan Machad of Iron Mountain. Machad had his hands too far, and it had his arm extended. That's going to get you called every time.
But it does give the South first down and 5. And guess who? Noack again. That's going to be a face mask against the North, no question. You can see that from this distance. And so one 15-yard penalty deserves another, and they'll move the South into first down territory.
Well, Brett Johnson of Munising, he had a great line on Nathan Noack, just a hand on the face, and that's not what you want if you just got a little bit of help on the play before, and then you had a great stop. got to watch where your hands are, because Nathan Nowak, he's one of those elusive players who he's gonna take the hankies if he can get them.
Not a lot of penalties in this ball game.
No,
it's really been cleanly played for the most part.
Absolutely.
They'll put the clock in motion, and the South now down to the 30-yard line. And Nowak again showing what he can do. And there's Van Effen once again split out to the left side of the top of your screen. And the other Eskimo, Lamb, in the backfield with Nowak. Nowak looking, wants it. Near sideline, right through the fingertips of Berg, and we don't see many mistakes from that young man. And he turned to run before that ball got there.
And Noah Berg, he was split out, and I was watching him there early, and I was like, I didn't think that they would split him out. He's normally one of those guys that comes out of the backfield. He can make dangerous plays happen in the backfield, but when you're having a hot first half, you get that second half, and that was a good idea to at least try and stretch him out and definitely get a lot of coverage on him, because you know there's going to be 2 or 3 players that were having their eyes specifically on him.
Van Effen at the bottom of your screen. That's Michaud there at the top. And this is Nowak running into a pile and now running into a whole host of white jerseys. There'll be no gain on the play.
Great defensive stop there by this white jersey North squad. I think Jack Kochever leading the charge there from Marquette. Got a good chance to get down and get low on Nathan Nowak. And like I've mentioned, you get low on Nathan Nowak, you take away those legs. That's what you need to do to a quarterback that is as shifty as he is. You have to take away his movement from his legs and his hips.
So 3rd and long here for the South. And we've got the exact same personnel and the exact same look here on offense. Nowak will call it off and drop back. And everything's breaking down, and he fires it down underneath, and there is some open room. And the South All-Stars with a first down and more. And finally getting brought down is Sam Santee out of Kingsford. You talked about him a couple of times in the first half. I'm looking and looking. It's hard from this distance with black numerals and red jerseys to find out who's who sometimes. But a big play and a very, very deliberate set play. They just waited for that to open up.
And that's one of those things that I mentioned. Sam Santee, when he gets a chance to get open, he's going to make a play happen, and that's the play he likes, that little wait screen. He gets a chance to get it. Nathan Nowak, he saw that play several times against him this year. He knows it works against him. A great job there to find the open man.
Nowak out of the shotgun. Now it's quarterback draw, and up the gut. Big hit thrown on him as he gets down to around the 4-yard line.
Nowak following those white helmets. We talked about how many Menominee Maroons were on this team. There were 6 of them. There were 6 Hematites as well. Both those teams leading, I guess, the most players per their side. Ishpeming with 6 on the north side, and then, of course, Menominee with 6 on the south side. And he's got some big hosses to follow up there on that front line, and those Maroons are definitely blocking for him.
So Lamb in the backfield with Nowak. They'll call it out. And they look, and that's going to be picked off. Intercepted by the North, and a turnaround deserves another. Yep, Finnegan, you talked about him a lot for his defensive play. And the North moves downfield just to throw a pick. South moves downfield to return the favor, and that should put the football out to the 20-yard line. After the turnover, a quick break. The South still up 1. Back in a moment here on Fox UP. So the North All-Stars in business following the turnover. And it's Ozzie Corp back in at quarterback. And he's just going to roll the ride to the right side, look for an opening that's just not there again thanks to the South All-Stars. They've been snuffing that play out pretty much since the get-go here today.
Yeah, every time we've seen Ozzie try to go to that right side, it's just been taken away from him. When he goes between the tackles, though, he makes great plays. I want to go back to that play on the goal line, though. Thomas Finnegan. Great jumping, great awareness, great ability to pull that down. He's a basketball player, he's a high jumper, and he made a great athletic play. You just watch here, Nowak's throw is on line, but Thomas Finnegan, just a beautiful job to go up and get it.
And we didn't get a great look, but one of the cool things about this All-Star game, both a South player and a North player went to help him up after making that great play. Inside handoff, not much there. Urkela, again, the runner out of Calumet. That's going to bring up 3rd down and about 6 here for the North All-Stars.
And Robert Urkela, he might be small, but he is a guy who likes to run between the tackles. You're going to see that a lot from him. He's not afraid to get in there and take his licks as he goes through. But I think in this moment, 3rd down, I don't know if they're going to call 12 again or not, but it worked on previous third downs. You also have the ability, Patrick Burmeister, to get open, and Ozzie Corp just hit him on a nice little slant route or a little post route if he can.
That's Hood down split to the left side, bottom of your screen. Now we've seen him get used in this offense as well as Corp goes over the top. Burmeister's there, and at midfield he'll haul it in for a first down for the North.
Well, Ben Moreau had a great coverage on him out of Kingsford. He really did, but Patrick Burmeister, he just has that great first step when he gets loose. He's going to make a play happen, and those guys, they don't only duke it out on the football field, they also duke it out on the track. Those are two guys who are very quick, and they see each other a lot during the track season. You watch here, Ozzie Corp, just a great play-action play there, and just watch the step that Burmeister had on Moreau, and Ben Moreau, a good saving tackle, but he had no safety help over the top at all.
And you see that extra step that you've been talking about. Burmeister almost outrunning his quarterbacks, like he said. One of those throws that's been to him, he's had to slow up for. So if they catch him at full stride, he's going to be gone long before the defense even knows he was there. And here we go with Johnson on the run here. The former Negaunee Miner up near a first down.
Well, George Canyu just saved a touchdown. I'm going to say that right now. George Canyu out of Rapid River, an 8-man football player, but really making a stride here. A great stop there on a very talented running back who has that quick step, that quick cut. George Canyu, great saving tackle, because I'm sure George Johnson was gone on that play.
Well, you saw the jersey get pulled out, and you can tell who Johnson is right there. He's the one literally in all white on your screen. They'll more than likely make him step out here after this play. I would think to tuck that in. But he is going to dot the I behind Ozzie Corp here for the North All-Stars as they are moving the ball once again. Inside handoff will go for a first down, but that's really going to be about it. They only needed a yard. They got maybe 1.5.
That's a good little nose run up there by the fullback, just because at first he gets bounced back by the offensive line, but then he does turn it into a first down, so that's a huge play. Even at first contact, he made first contact with one of his offensive guards, but able to just get through that hole eventually and pick up a first down.
Both offenses moving the football, both defenses, however, keeping the other team out of the end zone. We've had no scoring in this pretty quick moving third quarter as we're down under 6 minutes to go. Both teams, again, a lot of yards so far here on offense, but nothing to show for it just yet. Twins out top of your screen. I formation here for Ozzie Corp. And again, the former Hematite, 12 straightforward like you called it, gain of about 4.
Give the ball to 12, let Ozzie run. He's going to do that for you. He gets 4 to 5 yards on a carry. And one of the things about Ozzie Corp that you might not notice is he's a big, well, obviously you notice he's a big guy. He's a tall guy, we know that. But one of the things about Ozzie Corp that I enjoy the most is when he runs the ball, he goes from being about 6'5" to about 5'6" really quick, and he makes those plays happen.
So the North ready to go here as they've got second down and 6, 33-yard line to the south. And a single receiver either side, slot receivers both sides as well here for the North All-Stars. Shotgun formation, and again, Tassin, the former Negaunee Miner, on a little end around and misdirection play, gets a first down here for the North, and they continue that forward movement up the field.
Well, if it worked once, you try it again later on in the game, and that was a smart call there. Dylan Tassin, at first, he could have been tackled in the backfield, but he makes a great cut off a great block and turns that into a big first down run for this North squad. And we noticed, you know, they were in the air a lot with Nick Lacrosse. Ozzie's only thrown one pass on this drive, and the run game has been has worked very well for this Northern squad.
Well, like we said, I kind of figured both these teams would dial it back just a little bit because it is so close, and the first mistake here might lose this football game as Corp keeps it right side forward and near another first down for the North All-Stars.
Well, Bryce Sundquist of Bark River Harris, I don't think he's used to a guy like Ozzie Corp running at him, but a great job to get low and try and take out his legs and really slow that run down. But when you're a quarterback and you pick up 8 yards on a quarterback design play, you know, you got to really enjoy that. And you know, Coach Jeff Olson's enjoyed that for the years that he's had Ozzie, and especially this past year with him at quarterback.
Very dangerous. Patrick Burmeister split out to the top of your screen. And once again, it is Josh Hood down here at the bottom out of Newberry. Corp out of the shotgun with Johnson standing next to him. Corp's going to run out of time. And across the middle, almost picked off again. And Ozzie Corp, just a nice job to get that one away. A tip of the hat to the South All-Stars. That was an all-out gang rush.
Absolutely. They brought all the dogs on that one to really get at Ozzie Corp. And you don't really see Ozzie make plays like that. He's one of those guys where He tries to make the best play possible, and that one could have been one of the first mistakes we've seen from Ozzie really all year. We don't really see mistakes from Ozzie Corp even during the football season.
2-down territory, I'm guessing, here for the North, despite the fact that special teams have been pretty decent so far in this football game so far. But if you've got the weaponry that the North does right now with Johnson there in the backfield, Tassin split out, Burmeister and Booth, and you've also got, like we talked about, Corp, and there's so many different directions you could go. And as a matter of fact, the North going to talk this over and take a timeout because they got to figure out which weapon they're going to use. So that third down play is coming up. When we come back, we'll take a break. It's a 1-point ball game here on Fox UP. Well, after the timeout, the North has a 3rd down and 3 in a very quick-paced third quarter here at the Superior Dome. Mark Evans, Ethan Schmidt, and our Fox UP crew, glad you could join us here for what's really turned into a wonderful summertime tradition here in Upper Michigan. And this has turned out to be one of the better games we've seen in a while. It's been as close as the score would indicate.
And I think it's just you have such great talent by both these teams, and you kind of knew that coming into this game, and we're definitely seeing it on display tonight.
The balanced attack of the North has led them here. 3rd down, they give. Johnson leaning forward. That's going to bring up 4th down and short, and that was sniffed out beautifully by the South All-Stars. A lot of red jerseys in on that.
And I think this is another moment, and I hate to say that we know what the play call is going to be, but I think it's going to be 12 up the middle. Again, on this from 4th and inches, you don't really have a great special teams attack. You do know that you have a pretty talented quarterback, and I mean, he is the UP 2015 Dream Team quarterback for a reason.
Well, they didn't give him the spot that I thought he was going to get. It's actually 4th and almost 2. So this will be a little bit taller of a task here, and this right here is where the North turned the ball over the last time they were down here in this third quarter. Ozzie Corp snuffed at the line of scrimmage. He actually went backwards for a yard. Everybody knew it was going to be 12 up the middle, including everybody wearing red, and the North has turned it over on downs to the South All-Stars.
I don't think I've ever seen that happen to Ozzie Corp in all the games I've watched of Ozzie. And that's one of those things, a lot of times when you're watching a team, you don't really know. But I think a lot of these guys that are on this Southern squad, they've watched Ozzie Corp highlights for many weeks during the season, and even into the postseason, into that state championship run. And Ozzie Corp, he doesn't get blown back by that type of action, but you watch it here, just a great push up front and just a dominating defensive stop.
So, like we said, both teams moving the football here in this third quarter. Neither has anything to show for it. It was 14-13 at halftime, and now a opportunity here for the South with Berg, and he's not going to get far. Gain of maybe 3 on the play.
Noah Berg getting the chance to get that ball and make a play happen, and I think we're seeing Noah Berg trying to get back into this game after that big drop that he had, and then also he was the target on that interception that Thomas Finnegan caught. So get him into where he's comfortable at, and I think he's most comfortable when he runs the ball. I feel like we've seen that so far in this game, and pick up a 4, 2nd and 6 is a manageable down.
So once again, it is Connor Keserly in at quarterback here for the South UP All-Stars rather. And he's got some trouble in the backfield. Now he's going to have to tuck it in, and he's going to get wrapped up and maybe back to the line of scrimmage. It's going to bring up 3rd down for the South All-Stars, who, again, both these teams have kind of gone to the conservative part of the playbook so far.
Trent Deans of Westwood making a big stop there. We've called Luke Gray from Westwood. We don't always get a chance to call. You think of Westwood and you think of Benda, you think of Gray, but Trent Deans, a good stop there on Connor Keserly. And Connor Keserly, he can scramble. He's not the best scrambling quarterback, but you saw there. Got to give a big shout out to the man in the middle there, Trent Deans.
So it's 3rd down and 7, and the South struggling here a little bit on offense, and we're going to have another timeout. This time Brad Gravold's going to step in. The South coaching staff has said we need to figure out something else. And so with that, we owe you one more break before we get to the end of the quarter. Still 14-13, the South on top here at the Dome. Back in a moment here on Fox UP. A look at the folks in attendance here who all stayed dry on this rainy afternoon inside the Superior Dome. A big play for the South All-Stars, Ethan. They are pretty deep in their own territory. They've got 3rd and officially 7. Looks closer to 8 from this angle. But again, you don't want to be monkeying around too much here at your own 19-yard line.
We've talked about this defense from both squads. We saw a huge stop on 4th down. We've seen 2 interceptions now to start off this third quarter. And now another big chance, 3rd down and long.
So again, everybody in tight with the exception of Van Effen, who is split out to the top of your screen. Kesley is back and right over the middle and grabbing it and bringing it in. The South All-Stars in impossible coverage. That is a big catch, and I'm trying to catch a number, and from this distance, look, with those black numerals, forget it.
James Rosebrock of Rudyard.
Okay. Deep down on the roster, it looked like a 7, but it's an 87, and there he is. Yeah, you can't cover it any better than that. And a huge pitch and catch there for the South, and they keep this drive alive down to 1:20 by the time we get this play underway. So that's a big, big play here for the South All-Stars. And they'll give, and again, it's Berg, and he doesn't have much. That's one thing both these defenses have done. Both of them, they've figured out who the key element in the other team's offense is. And the North is really tied down on Berg a little bit. Finnegan with another play right there. And Ozzie Korp has not had a chance to get loose here for the North thanks to the South defense.
And that's what you have to do in a game like this, because you have to realize who your playmakers are going to be, because really an all-star game, everybody out there is a playmaker of some point for their respective schools, and now you get them into a bigger stage with other athletes like this, and Noah Berg's been that guy, and he's been gaining about 4 yards every time he's touched the ball.
2nd down, and they'll roll the pocket to the right. Kesley looks, and that's broken up, and almost getting in there too quickly was the North defense, but a good play there by Karen, out of Calumet. Again, struggling with the numbers from here, but again, that brings up another 3rd down and long here for the South.
And that was a chance. You're going to watch the replay here. As bad throw originally by Connor Kesley, kind of off target there, a little wobbly, but Karen with a chance. That could have been, like you said, it was a very close call. That could have been called pass interference. He was over the top of him, kind of had a hand on the shoulder as he was swatting it away. Got to be careful on those plays, because now you're looking at 3rd down. That could have been a 1st down.
So they run the misdirection play. The North has most of it sniffed out, and a big, big defensive stand, one of many here on this Saturday afternoon.
Alex Mathias out of Bark River Harris, he's one of those guys, when he takes the ball, he's normally got a good, powerful run up the middle, but I think that's one of those plays where a lot of things were going on in the backfield, and I don't know if he really got a good jump start to get open, but credit again to this defensive squad for the North, just a good stop there. And I don't know if we'll go to the end of the 3rd here.
A lot of offense, nothing to show. 14-13 it remains. South with the lead. 4th quarter's on the way here on Fox UP. Fourth quarter just about ready to get rolling here in Marquette. And you got to ask yourself, on a game like this here, Ethan, why did they wait till 2008 to bring back the UP All-Star football game? This has been a dandy this afternoon.
This has been a great contest, a great matchup. There's not a lot of give room from either one of these teams, and I think it's going to be one big play that's really going to break this open. And I say that with Patrick Burmeister back deep to return a punt. So that could be one of those guys that could definitely turn this game around.
He's back there with Matthews. And the South will kick it away, and this time they do kick it, and it will be Matthews. 30-yard line, and that's going to be about it. Well covered by the South. But the North with an opportunity to gain their first lead of the ball game. Both these teams moving the ball pretty well in that 3rd quarter. Like we said, not much to show about it. That was a rapid-fire 3rd quarter. My gosh, everybody kept everything on the ground. Passes were completed. Just a lot of fun to watch back and forth.
And the storyline has been the defense. We've mentioned it so much in this game, how great these defenses have been. And I think it goes to that tackle that we just saw on the special teams by Jake Polich to get downfield and really make a play there and make a good stop and a good wrap-up on Jeffrey Matthews. Polich, another West Iron County Wycon, one of 2 that are in this game, both playing defense. Haven't seen them in offense, but they are both great runners when they get the ability to run the ball.
So this brings Lacrosse back in at quarterback. And he is going to duck in under center, and they'll pitch right side. Urkela, he's got some room and some convoy in front, but not much. And a very, very well played defensively there by Goldthorpe out of St. Ignace. And he got lit for that first touchdown for the North, and he's been solid ever since.
Robert Urkela, he has the corner, and you think he's gone, but Goldthorpe, what a great job to just keep going down, keep pushing out. And you got to give credit to linemen and linebackers on that type of play, because on a sweep like that, if Urkela cuts that up faster, he's got a great opportunity to get a first down or more. But in that particular instance, you have great line movement, great linebacker movement, and then your safety just able to follow down and then fill the last gap that he needs to fill. Great job there by Goldthorpe.
Well, that being said, the North still got 5 yards on the play, and they'll take that the rest of the afternoon if you give it to them. It'll be Lacrosse ducking back, and again, tried the quarterback draw, and that's going to maybe get back to the line of scrimmage. And once again, defense, defense, defense.
Adam Beiersdorf of Menominee. He's one of the only white helmets you're going to see play a lot of defensive time. Beiersdorf, I think his family's in front of us. I think that's the crew we're hearing right now from Menominee yelling out for him. A great job there just to bring down Lacrosse on what was a design quarterback draw. Beiersdorf just grabs him, and Beiersdorf's a big guy. You can see he's a little winded right now up front, but a good job there to push off the guard that was blocking him and bring down Lacrosse.
Keeps the clock running here as we're a minute into this fourth quarter in a 1-point ball game here from the Dome. Lacrosse is back out of the shotgun. He looks to his left, now to his right, and now he looks at a bunch of red jerseys, coughs up the football, but he lands on it. He'll lose 6 yards, but the North will have to kick the football away.
Beiersdorf again, this time forcing the fumble. A good job there, back-to-back plays, and like we've mentioned, this defense has been very good, both for the North and the South, but on the South we've seen several players who make good plays in a row. Beiersdorf's one of those guys. He also got a chance to try and catch the ball during the skills challenge, so that was a fun moment for him as well.
Well, Berg is back deep, along with Santee. Another dangerous return crew here for the South. And they put a foot into this one. It's a good kick. It'll be Berg calling for the fair catch at the 26, and that's where the South will take over. And interesting to note, I mean, both these teams moved the ball so well third quarter, and both of them really sputtering to start here in the fourth quarter.
And that's one of those things that it's going to come down to who can make that big play happen. Is it going to be a special teams play? Is it going to be some sort of reverse that you can't predict? Is it going to be a flea flicker? We've seen some flea flickers in the Dome, of course. That's one of Coach Ostrowski's favorite plays to run with Shea Brown at quarterback. But are we going to see something like that that's going to happen here, where it's going to be a play that's going to open up this field to get this team down? And Nathan Nowak at quarterback, there's a good possibility it comes from his wheels.
So he will start things off on first down, rolls to his right, looking. Now they're going to lob this one. They got a man open, and it is, well, fight for it. If it's a tie, it goes to the receiver, but they're going to say incomplete.
That one was close. Mike Graves had an interception. Sam Santi had a first down and more near midfield, depending on which way that one gets called, but incomplete pass, and that's what you get from a guy like Sam Santi as well. Watch here, Graves, Santi, both of them. But there it is. You see it hit the turf there, but what a play by both players to really make sure that doesn't go in favor of either team.
Yeah, great job by Santi there. Again, he turned into the defender, more or less, because the defender on that play, Graves, looked like he had a better position on that football. So the South dodges a bullet. They look. Van Effen, boy, he bobbled it, but he brought it in and holds on and gains 13 yards.
I think more people were going for a strip on that one than they were actually to bring down Danny Van Effen, because originally, like you said, he bobbled the catch. He did bring it in off of his thigh board, but in that same situation, you have guys that are going for the strip. Owen LaJoy was focused more on trying to strip the ball out than he was actually trying to get the big tackle. In a situation like that, you got to go for those legs, bring down the big receiver.
So the South gets their first down of the quarter in their second possession. And Nowak's just going to use his legs. Right side through a hole, spinning forward, gain of 8. And the South All-Stars approaching midfield here. As the clock continues to roll, we're under 12.5 minutes by the time this next play gets underway.
And you know, Nathan Nowak, he earned so much at Menominee by that play. He got so many first downs, so many touchdowns, so many big plays from his legs, and it's no doubt that was what was going to be part of the bread and butter of this Southern team. Same with the Northern squad. We've seen it with Ozzie Corp, but Nathan Nowak definitely earning it today, definitely earning that starting spot that he had in this game.
So the South moving the football again. We've seen a lot of yards in this second half. No points since the second quarter, and this time Nowak's got nothing. And a great push again. Defense this time around the North, lighting it up and forcing down a third down in about 6.
Brett Johnson of Munising, Matt Jandren of Nagani getting a chance to make big plays happen in the backfield. And Nathan Nowak, another player that you're not used to seeing lose yardage. And that was a great play by Brett Johnson to really push that back. And same with Matt Jandrin to get in there and make sure that there was no running lane for Nathan Nowak.
Lamb is in the backfield with Nowak, and again, a key third down here for the South. They've got the lead, but more importantly, they want to keep the possession and keep this clock running. And Nowak's going to gun it far sideline right at the marker. It'll depend on the stripes where they put it, and they're going to say he's about a yard short at midfield.
Well, I thought Noah Berg, I thought he had a foot over, but again, it's where the ball's at in that moment. Noah Berg caught it a little bit on the inside. Probably a great, and actually great spot. And I know we're giving some credit here to officials, but most of the time people are yelling at officials, which we're hearing some boos now from some of the people in the crowd who are watching this game. They thought he had it, but where Berg caught the ball compared to where his feet were two different positions. So I think that's why you're going to get that spot. I think that's a really good decision by the officiating crew to really put that ball where it's at.
Well, now the North is going to have to rise up defensively once again here as the ball's at midfield. And clock not an issue just yet, Ethan, but sooner or later you're going to have to start taking a look at this and start counting your timeouts and the whole bit. So Nowak, and they tried to get him to jump, and they did. They do the quick count, and the North leaned in, made contact, and that'll be a first down for the South.
That's tricky. That's what you want. You're trying to get those guys offside. You're trying to get that heart pumping, the adrenaline pumping in that moment. And Matt Jandrin, he just can't hang on to where he was at. He breaks the plane there, and that's going to get you a first down every time if you can make it happen.
So that'll also put the football at the 45-yard line of the North All-Stars. And they'll wind the clock with 10:20 to go here in the fourth quarter. And the South really in no hurry right now. They've got a first down, and they've got the wheels of Nathan Nowak, who now looks to his right. And he'll find the sideline and up again, and they are going to throw the flag. It's either going to be a hold or defensive pass interference. That ball thrown a little bit over the intended target here, but there was no question there was contact.
Yeah, Matthews kind of had a hold of, and I say kind of, he had a hold of Noah Berg's jersey. He was pulling Noah Berg's jersey almost off of him there. And that's one of those things that defensive back, when you get beat, you try to catch back up, or you try and do your best to slow down the guy once he gets past you. Noah Berg had a great first step on Jeffrey Matthews, and he was gone into that secondary. That could have been a big play, and it's going to end up being a big play.
So there's an automatic first down associated with the pass interference, of course. And so Van Effen will bring the play in from the South sideline. And they'll wind the clock as we're under 10 minutes to go till the end of the game here. 14-13, the South still holding on to the lead, and they've got the football and marching. Shotgun formation here, Lamb in the backfield with Nowak. And he's just going to cut up in a design quarterback draw and running out of real estate after a gain of about 5. Nowak, again, he's one of these runners, he almost runs to the contact in a way. Not in a bad way,
no,
but it's almost like he's looking to find the contact in a way.
Absolutely, and that was something that I mentioned earlier on. These quarterbacks here in the UP, I've watched so many of them that are not afraid to take a hit, and that's what I love. I love those quarterbacks who are able to get in there, and they're going to take a shot if you can give it to them, but they're also going to dish one back out to you, and we've seen that with Nathan Nowak, Ozzie Corp, Nick Lacrosse, everyone that's been out here.
So again, second down and 5. Nowak looking, rolling. He's got some room, and Van Effen sliding there right near the first down marker, just shy of the 20-yard line. That's actually Lamb out of the backfield.
What a great play by Logan Lamb. You know, I talked a little bit. He was a quarterback at Escanaba. He had a great time there playing quarterback. He was also one of those running type quarterbacks. You got to see him run the ball a little bit as well. But just to watch him get that pass and just slide down, you think of these players who are being super versatile in these games, and just you're excited to see someone who might not play the position that he's playing out there actually doing well in it.
Well, and those are the guys that get the direct snap, like in a situation like this. Nowak's going to keep it and move forward. He's got the first down for the South All-Stars, but keep in mind, Lamb's back there too. And you do a direct snap, and you know what's going to break loose with that. It's hard to tell. That's really going to be interesting in this final 8 minutes and 30 seconds here. What haven't we seen? What's in the back pocket? What does the coaching staff want to throw at you to kind of set the tone here for the final part of this ball game.
You also got to think with the quarterback trying to block for you. He knows what it feels like to take one of those shots, so he's gonna have your back out there, knowing that he's not technically playing quarterback today. He's gonna definitely step up there and try and get a block for you.
So here we go, 1st and 10 again for the South All-Stars, and Nowak cuts back, and now he's looking and no one to gun it to. Lobs it into the corner of the end zone and up in the air and knocking it down the north. And again, that's a dangerous throw. There were 2 white jerseys right there. Van Effen's a great receiver, but wow, that one was popped up in the air and never really gave the receiver much of a chance.
Yeah, Mike Graves is over the top on there from Munising. I saw him definitely get over there and have that cloud coverage. But Landon Mackey, who got blown up earlier in the game, give him credit on this one. He was covering over there in the corner, and Landon Mackey, he's a lot shorter than Danny Van Effen, but a good chance there on that underneath, and he had his hands on it there for a second. He had a chance to get a pick and kind of redeem himself from early on.
So that'll bring up 2nd down and 10. The shot to the bottom of your screen, Van Effen at the top, and Nowak back. And he's looking, and he comes near sideline, and it's almost picked off. And again, defensively, a former Negaunee Miner, Jeffrey Matthews, in there.
And that makes up for that penalty, the pass interference call and the hold on Noah Berg. That makes up for it a little bit right there, because that's a great defensive route. Watch how he breaks on this ball. You don't always see cornerbacks, especially at the high school level, break on a ball like that because they're more worried about that receiver catching the ball and then burning them. A great job by Jeffrey Matthews to sniff that one out and be willing to put his body on the line to break that pass up against a much taller receiver as well, and Ryan Mashad.
So 3rd down now for the South. And Nowak again, design quarterback draw. And he's got some room, spun around. He's not going to get the 1st down, but he does get to the 14-yard line. And they are in the middle of the field with a pretty good kicker. Last time they came down here to try and boot one through, though, the North blocked it. So a lot of decision-making to go on here on the South sideline.
Yeah, this is a tough decision. You're at 4th down and 5, and you have to really wonder what's going to happen. You've seen Nathan Nowak do pretty well when he runs the ball. But like you said, you have Logan Lamb in the backfield. Do you do a direct snap? Do you use Nathan Nowak's speed? Do you use him as a blocker? Do you use him as a decoy? There's so many things right now that have to be going through your head because you want this 1st down, because this is a crucial 1st down for you in this type of field position with a 1-point lead.
And it's been a big defensive second half. Let's see if the North can rise again. And they tried to get him to jump, not this time. And now a timeout's going to be called by the South. Fool me once, okay, fool not this time around. And the North this time didn't bite. 7 minutes to go here, and we'll be back for a very big 4th down play in a moment here on Fox UP. Well, if you've just tuned in to Fox UP, you've missed a lot of excitement, but there's more in your immediate future. It's the annual UP All-Star football game. It's a 1-point game, 14-13, the South with the ball and the lead, 4th and 5, and they will control it from the North 14-yard line.
This is a crucial 4th down with the lead, a 1-point lead. You have to think what's going to happen. Nathan Nowak's out there still, Logan Lamb's out there still. Two former quarterbacks at the high school level. Both are more than likely going to be in the backfield. We're going to see if there's some sort of trick happening. But another thing to watch, you have 2 tall receivers on 2 shorter cornerbacks out there. Danny Van Effen, Ryan Mashad, both are big targets.
And now they'll move Logan Lamb to the right side of Nowak. And he'll bark it out and look. Nathan Nowak looking, running out of time, running out of room. Got a receiver at the 4-yard line.
Ryan Mashad makes one of the biggest catches. I've seen Ryan Mashad make some great catches, but he definitely keeps this game alive for the Southern team right there. What a play, just falling. He was on his knees, and then he was technically walking on his knees to make that catch. A great job by Ryan Mashad of Iron Mountain to pick up a huge 1st down, and now Nathan Nowak from the 4-yard line. I think this is his number right here. I think you're going to get him called. But just watch the play. A beautiful job. Mashad, just a diving catch from his knees after already kind of falling to his knees originally.
And what a throw under pressure. As we've talked a lot about Nowak's running ability, but that was a key throw for him, and now he cuts upfield. He's going to come up shy of the goal line. They're going to mark him at about the 2.5, but now you take a look at that clock up in the corner. 6:18, 6:17, 16, counting down ever slowly. And the North can ill afford to let the South in the end zone here.
That'd be a huge moment, because then when you get the ball back, you have to try and get the ball back again just to keep yourself alive in this game. Try and score and keep the ball in your possession on an onside kick or whatever it is. And I would not put it past any of these coaches to go for blood on that and try and get an onside kick if they can.
Well, and the thing is, too, again, if you're the South, you've got someone who can actually kick the field goal from here, so that kind of changes a way you think to a certain degree, as Nowak again for really no gain. And I'm certain that the South isn't playing for that, but it lessens that sense of urgency of having to get into the end zone, because you may have some points right there on the field already.
And then the question is, do you come back out with Ozzie Corp at quarterback, or do you come out with Nick Lacrosse? I mean, that's kind of what you have to decide. And I think we're seeing like a full line shift. I think we're watching a little hockey game here.
Well, the South has got something up their sleeve.
Well, I see Kyle Soderberg out there, and I see Connor Keserly at quarterback. I see Justin Rock at fullback. Noah Berg back out there. I don't know. This could be one of those plays that we saw earlier that went for a touchdown.
This is a lot of Forest Park on the field. Berg trying to move, and he is going to get spun down and thrown back at the 9-yard line. Huge defensive play by the North, and that may very well force the South to kick the field goal.
As I mentioned, Brett Johnson, he'll be playing here next year. So that's something that this, if you're watching here and you're getting a chance to see him as a Munising Mustang, now you're getting a chance to see him right here in this All-Star game, getting ready for his next step as you see him just bring down Noah Berg. That's the first major stop on Noah Berg all game, and it came on a crucial 3rd down.
So the South is going to use their final timeout. They're going to wait for the clock to wind down to about, well, we don't have a play clock here, but they're going to tell the official as soon as the play clock is down to 1, go ahead and call the timeout. Ball will be on the near hash mark, and remember, earlier in the 3rd quarter, we saw a very similar scenario, almost the same spot in the field, and the South went for the field goal, and it was blocked by the North, and that kept it 14-13. So a timeout called here by the South. What happens on 4th down? Find out in a moment. We're back with that play next here on Fox UP. Quite possibly the play of this ball game about ready to unfold in front of us here. It is 4th down and 7 here for the South All-Stars rather. And what has been a defensive second half. We've had no scoring since the 2nd quarter. Both teams moving the football quite well, Ethan, but it's been that defense at the end of each drive that's made the difference.
The defense has been key for both of these squads. And we've seen, as I've mentioned, you normally get a chance to see for both these teams one player that has a great drive for both teams, and their names getting called a lot. They're definitely making plays. And like you mentioned, though, this is a huge 4th down, probably bigger than the last 4th down.
Nowak again at quarterback. He's got Lamb next to him, and it's Nowak looking to his right on 4th down, looking, lobs it high into the end zone, jump ball, caught, touchdown, South All-Stars.
And that's the player you go to, Sam Santi, wide open in the end zone. Just a great jumping catch there. And, you know, he's one of those other players, you may not have seen him a lot, but he's one of those guys that can definitely make a play happen if he runs a short route. But he's definitely a great jump ball player as well, and you saw it there. He's a big guy. He's a big receiver. Watch this play, though, as it unfolds. And just Nowak having to throw across his body. No one's around him. And there he is, just a beautiful catch in the end zone, pulling that down around 3 players. And the North squad, that's the last thing you really want in a moment like this, but Nowak just jumping and throwing across his body. A beautiful catch by Sam Santi, and now Ryan Mashad.
And a much more dangerous play than it might appear at first glance, because that was a pop-up. And if there's a North player a little bit closer to that receiver, we may have a turnover in the end zone. But instead, the South on a dramatic play makes it 21-13. And now the North, still with life, they have 2 timeouts, 4:02 on the clock. And more importantly, they've got a lot of good offensive weapons, and they are within striking distance to tie this game.
Just a great, it's not a great design play per se, but it's just a great happening play, something that unfolded in front of us. And that's one of those things that you get from a guy like Nathan Nowak. He is a little gutsy, and you watch him here as he rolls all the way to his right and then jumps off of his right foot to swing it back across his body to the left. And that's where Sam Santi was there to bring that one down around multiple white jerseys. just couldn't converge on him fast enough. That's one of those plays that you don't always think to watch the backside receiver. You don't even get a chance really to see him come across the screen, but he gets there and he gets to a spot where he knows he's got the best opportunity and the best look at the ball.
Patrick Burmeister back deep from the Marquette Redmen here for the North All-Stars, and you know he's just praying right now that they kick it to him. We've not seen a lot of deep kickoffs from either one of these teams because both teams return kicks so well.
And that's what we've seen right now. You see all the defenders are up close right now. Dylan Tassin leading the charge in that second line. They want the ball to come to Patrick Burmeister, and they're going to let it go to him. As you see, there it is, Patrick Burmeister. He finally gets his first touch on a kick return.
And gets wrapped up, picked up, and planted back at the 25-yard line.
A little breakdown in communication there between that kick return team.
And a little talking down there after the play as well. We've seen a little bit of that here, but a very cleanly played game so far. And a big week for these kids because not only are they playing football, they're also learning about community and working with Bay Cliff and all sorts of other just awesome things that they go through this week.
Absolutely. This is probably one of the best experiences. And one of the things that I've learned from being in the UP is that these athletes, they really do care about the communities that they live in. They want to give back as much as possible. And to see all of them on that type of scale and getting a chance to work with younger kids and just people in this community has just been absolutely fantastic.
Well, the first question answered. It's Ozzie Korp at quarterback, the former Hematite. Swings it around here. Coolyu. He's got it at the 30. Fights off one tackler. Just couldn't get over the hump, but he's near a first down. And
Sundquist there out of Bark River Harris. He might have made a big saving tackle there. That could have been turned into a lot more, but now we're seeing Ozzie go into Ozzie mode. And, you know, Ozzie Korp this past season, not many times in the fourth quarter was it really Ishpeming trailing. They normally had a lead that they had to defend.
State championship game.
Absolutely.
That's really about it. But again, a lot of choices for him to make out here. And again, Booth is up to the top of your screen. Burmeister to the bottom. Korp with all kinds of time. Looking, Tassin, and the bump of the bodies there. Good no call. The hanky stays in the pocket. That brings up a key third down here for the North.
And Tassin went for the ball at the highest point. He was really extending for it. But Kaler out of Kingsford, another Kingsford player getting called now late in this game for a great play. That's a great defensive stop right there just to knock the ball down. And now it's a 3rd and short.
12 up the middle.
That's what I would probably be looking at this point. With still over 3 minutes of play, I'd probably still try and call an Ozzie Korp number here, see if you can get him to the outside. At this point, you have a lot of guys dropping back into coverage. You have a good possibility of maybe getting those linebackers out of position and a first down by Ozzie.
Gray out of Westwood with him in the backfield, and he goes to him in the flat on the left side. Great coverage by the South. Gray is not going to be able to get out of there. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, and now the decision of the afternoon by the North coaching staff.
You got to go for it.
Well, the question is, what are you going to do on 4th down? You've got 2 timeouts and more than likely going to use one of them here. As it's 4th down and a yard here for the North, and this is do or die here for the All-Stars from the top of the UP at the 34-yard line.
A moment like this, I still think it's going to be something more than likely. Get a chance to see what Ozzie can do here. Still maybe roll the pocket with him, see if he can get a short little out route, maybe to Luke Coolyu. If not, have him try and break up for that first down on the run.
A quick snap, and it's Korp running out of room. Forward, boy, he is close. Going to depend on the spot, and from the near side official, he's going to have it by about a foot.
That's a great job by Ozzie, and this time not a stretch by Ozzie. It's just kind of getting the body over there. I think the south sideline thought he wasn't close to it, but Ozzie Korp getting that extra little push. He's a big body. You got to get a lot of pressure on him, and I want to say Hunter View out of Escanaba had a tackle there. He is one of the dream teamers as well this past year from Escanaba, and I believe he was also the large school defensive player of the year.
So now the North running out of time, though. They've got a long way to go. They're at the 35-yard line of their own, but they do have first down with 2:05 to go here in the 4th quarter. Trailing by 8, so they need the 2-point conversion if they get in. Korp guns it, looking. Burmeister, and he got tripped up a little bit. They're not going to throw the flag. And both players coming up a little bit gimpy, but everybody's all right.
And that was Ben Moreau, the U.S. Army Hall of Fame Award recipient this year from Kingsford. having a little bit of good coverage, but yeah, he's coming off a little slow. He's going to come to the sideline, get replaced by Andrew Goldthorpe out of St. Ignace now. He's coming over the sideline. I think Burmeister, might have stepped out as well.
It does stop the clock on the incompletion, though. 2nd down and 10, again sitting at the 35-yard line of the North All-Stars. 1 score, that's it so far here in this second half of play. And that has enabled the South to jump out by 8 here on the North. Corp again, Booth up top, and they're going to roll. Misdirection play. Corp thought about it, saw the coverage, and wisely held on to the football, but still only gained a yard. It's a yard gain as compared to what could have been a 5-6 yard loss.
And, you know, that was a good read there because Ozzie could have pitched that to the man who was coming around as we get a timeout, but Ozzie could have pitched that to the man around, and had he have done that, I believe it was George Canio on the backside who would have snuffed that play out really well. Could have seen a huge hit and a loss of yardage.
So one last gasp here for the North All-Stars. They call timeout on 3rd down and long. And the nice thing is, if you don't need to get it all. You've got the 2 downs to play with right now. $1:47 left on the clock. 45 actually, I should say. But again, this is coaching time. This is a decision time, and this is where games like this get to be a heck of a lot of fun.
You know, I saw Arthur Lyons come in at wide receiver. I thought that might have been a bit of a change. Arthur Lyons, quarterback from Lake Linden Hubble this past year. Good chance that you could have seen something work there as well. Maybe a trick play if you have a guy like him at that receiver position. Come around, try and see if you can hit a Corp on a little old Nebraska play on the way around, try and throw it to quarterback. But
well, if we see a fumble Ruski, I'm going to retire.
All right, I don't think we'll see that, but I think we could always see one of those plays where you might try and get Ozzie Corp open if that's possible. Even though he's starting at quarterback, get a little end around or maybe a pitch and a throw there from a former quarterback to a former quarterback.
Big play on 3rd down. The North All-Stars will break the huddle. Always be watching for that receiver at the bottom of your screen. Patrick Burmeister had a great career as a Marquette Redman. He's been getting open here in this ball game. Corp in, out. Guess who? Burmeister. He's got him open. Caught it at the 25, and he's got a 1st down at the 21. Make that the 19-yard line.
And that's the speed of Patrick Burmeister coming into play there. This time he beats a Kingsford flivver there in Kaler, but a great play, just getting wide open yet again, Patrick Burmeister. And the thing that we've mentioned, he's had to slow down on a lot of these passes. Watch it here. Ozzie Corp doing a great job of faking out the defense, looking like he's going to run. Everybody steps and they try and recover. Wasn't well enough, and Patrick Burmeister, he has great first steps on everyone that he matches up with. You know, I look at him and I think Wes Welker. Every time I see Patrick Burmeister, that's the name that comes to mind.
Yeah, if he doesn't slow down for that pass, he's in. Here's Corp, and he got past the first wall, wrapped up, and another 1st down for the former Hematite and 2-time state champion.
And that's what I feel when I see Ozzie Corp run the ball. I think back to the games against New Lothrop in the Dome, or down at Ford Field when he was playing against Pewamo Westphalia, and just in those last moments, give the ball to Ozzie, let him run the ball, see what he can do for you, and that was bread and butter for Coach Jeff Olson and company. When he would touch the ball late in a game, he goes into an extra mode that I've never seen before.
Tassin and Burmeister are the receivers at the top of your screen. Corp's going to come in under center this time. And a quick hit, and it is Tassin looking to the end zone. He got in, touchdown for the North, and we are a 2-point conversion away from tying this one up.
And that's a huge throw on the outside. And I don't think it was Tassin. I think they went to Jonah Goodrow of Baraga, the small wide receiver, former running back for 8-man football. I think he was out there on the outside. We're going to see if we can check it and see who it was, but watch it. He's right into the end zone. I think he's going to pop. That should be the number 3 on his jersey.
Yeah, well, there's the N that I saw on the top.
Right,
so.
Yeah, you saw that, but it's a Baraga, former 8-man football player from Baraga, a Viking out there grabbing the ball and making a big play.
So here we go with the play of the afternoon. It is 21-19. The North must get in, or it'll force them to onside kick and try and get the football back. They do have one timeout, the North All-Stars do. It'll be Corp once again. And it looked like the offense moved. They've got the 2-point conversion. This time it is Tassin in the back of the end zone. And with 57 seconds to go, we are knotted up here in the All-Star football game.
You see Dwyer get a great beeline to Ozzie Corp, but just the size and the strength of Ozzie Corp keeps him in that. And then Dylan Tassin, no one's around him. He's got 2 helmets coming in late on him, but Dylan Tassin tying this game up. He's got those basketball hops, and they pay off there.
21-21 with 57 seconds to go here, and there's still a lot of football to be played. So a touchdown aside here in the second half, the difference is the 2-point conversion has tied things here for the North.
That goes back to what I said. I've never seen a player in the fourth quarter as talented as Ozzie Corp is. Just an all-around field general. Of course, you have to give credit to the guys who are out there catching the balls as well and running the balls with them. But Ozzie Corp, he just takes over in the fourth quarter. It's something I've never seen from a quarterback at this level, just to be cool and calm and collected as much as he is when he's on the field.
Well, I can guarantee you there's not a whole lot of cool, calm, and collective right now out on that field for either one of these teams, because all of a sudden this has turned into a 57-second affair. And again, a lot of explosiveness on this South team. So do not count the South out yet. Also a very good kicker, so they get into field goal range, which is something they can accomplish. This could be a crazy finish. But it is Berg and Santi back now for the South, and they're going to put it right into the hands of Berg. Bouncing ball, picks it up at the 20. Looking, he's got a big hole up the middle, cuts to his right, and the South in business at the 35-yard line.
That's a little jarring as they get up. I believe it's Mike Anderson from Lawrence getting a tackle on Noah Berg. And Noah Berg had a lot of room there to really make something happen. And just a great stop there by Mike Anderson, but still a nice little run there off of originally a bobbled catch, or a bobbled kickoff there by Noah Berg. That could have been really bad.
So it'll be Nathan Nowak in to run the offense here for the South. Lamb in the backfield with him, and 2 great receivers in Mishot out of Iron Mountain, Van Effen out of Escanaba up at the top of your screen. They'll call out the signals. And Nowak again, he's one of these guys that can do it all as well. Pump fake, looking, Van Effen looking downfield, picked off by the North at the 40-yard line. And again, the former Nagani Miner, Jeffrey Matthews jumping up in front of that. And now you've given the ball back to the North with 45 seconds to go.
And Jeffrey Matthews, what a play. We saw him get that holding penalty early on in this game that kept that drive alive, that ended up in a touchdown. And now you watch him here just really coming back and doing a great job of just playing defense, sticking with his man. And one of the best parts about Jeffrey Matthews' game today is that he knows this has been the route that they've run. They've ran that route to Danny Van Effen so many times in this game that eventually it was going to be his, and he was done being picked on, that's for certain.
So 60 yards to cover for touchdown. About 45 probably for a field goal try. And now in the ball game is Lacrosse at quarterback, Urkela. And he's got the left side looking for the sideline, and he's going to run out of bounds. Now the North does have 1 timeout remaining, but out of bounds will stop the clock as they'll move the chain up to about the 44, 46-yard line actually.
And that's the run I've been waiting for Robert Urkela. Just the ability to get open on a little toss or a little sweep and just get to the outside and try and break something up there. That's a big run for a guy like Robert Urkela in this game when we've seen him only get several gains of maybe 2-3 yards, turn that into a nice 6-yard gain in 40 seconds here on the clock. You got to think it's not panic mode yet, but maybe something tricky coming up.
Goodrow is the receiver down to the bottom of your screen. He just caught the touchdown a little bit ago, and here's Urkela once again. He's not going to get much, if anything, loses a yard to the far sideline.
Going back to that same play I think the defense kind of had at that time.
What are they setting up is the question.
True.
You run 2 basic sweep plays to the left side. So you got to ask yourself, who's coming in? Now Burmeister, again, appeared to be shaken up a little bit on that last series. So you've got Tassin out there as a receiver.
You have Cool U as a tight end.
Goodrow out there just caught the last touchdown. So what are you setting up here by running Urkela left twice?
You know, and one thing is head coach Fred Bryant of the Newberry Indians. We haven't seen him with Josh Hood back out in offense for a while. Never know.
So Lacrosse at quarterback, dropping back. Here comes the pressure. It's picked up. Lacrosse guns, looking, overshot everybody. And now it's going to be 4th down. And if you're the North, you really have to punt right here because you don't want to risk turning it over on downs at midfield.
You know, one thing that I thought of just then is if Patrick Burmeister's in that game, that's what he's been waiting for, that home run ball. He's been waiting all game for a throw that's on target and leading him. Burmeister's in that game. I think we have a touchdown there just with the quickness from him.
So the North will punt it. And back to do the duty, Josh Hood. And the very, very dangerous tandem of Santi and Berg back here for the South All-Stars. Pass back is a good one. Kick is a good one. And it'll be Santi at his own 10. Drop the football, and it's picked up by the North, and they've got it at the 5-yard line.
That doesn't happen much for Sam Santi. He's a great fielder. He's one of those guys who's a special teamer. I think Mike Graves is the one who covers it up from Munising, but what a heads-up play by Mike Graves, but you got to be kicking yourself on the southern side. That's a play where if you're backpedaling like that, you're not trying to run the ball. Just watch as it's going to bounce right off of him. You're not trying to catch that ball as a punt returner in that type of area. What you're trying to do is call everyone off. That could roll into the end zone. That could roll to the 1. You're pinning, you know, you get a chance to still be on offense even if it's down. You can't do that if you're backpedaling within the 10.
17 seconds remain. And now the North, 1st and 10, just outside the 10. Burmeister is back in as a split receiver at the bottom of your screen. It's Ozzie Corp, and he'll run it right side, bowling people over and down to the 3, and the North still has the 1 timeout remaining. They'll use it here.
And yes, we've seen that many times, and I don't know if West Iron County's Paulich had seen that many times in his career. A guy like Ozzie Corp, Jake Paulich, I don't think he's seen a big guy like that coming at him that many times, but Ozzie Corp, you know he loves to play in the Dome. You know this is one of his favorite places to play. You know he likes to win in the Dome. I don't know if that's going to fare well saying that since he's heading to Michigan Tech, but you know, one of those things, he loves to play in the Dome. He's had a great career when he's been here in the Dome, and we've seen him do so well, but that was just a huge run and all set up by a little bit of an error.
4-yard line, and now clock management comes into play here for the North. There's 11 seconds remaining. You've got time to run a play, and if it's not there, throw it out of bounds. You don't run in a situation like this, even if you have someone like Corp in the backfield. That just burns up too much time. Now, if you had a timeout to save you, that's a different story. But you have no timeouts remaining. 4 yards basically to victory, or you throw an incompletion and you try and kick the field goal.
Absolutely. And in this moment, at this point, I don't even know really what's being called or what's being said. You have 2 guys, 3 receivers who've been proven in this game for certain, and you still have a guy like Ozzie Corp out there.
So Corp is back, looking, corner of the end zone. That's Tassin, up and got it, touchdown for the North.
Dylan Tassin with an amazing catch. We've seen it now. The sideline is just clearing because that's one of the biggest plays of this game. We saw Santi with a huge touchdown here in the end zone, and then Dylan Tassin going up and skying over the corner, and absolutely just a beautiful catch and a beautiful way to bring that ball in for a touchdown. What an amazing, amazing sequence there. And Ozzie Corp, you know, you don't always see Ozzie throw the ball, but we're going to watch him here just drop back and trusting his man in the corner of the end zone, putting it in the spot, and a beautiful, beautiful catch there over the defender for Dylan Tassin, and that gave the North all the momentum they need with a little over 2 seconds, I believe, is where we're at now.
6 on the clock. Going to kick the extra point. Second touchdown of the afternoon for Dylan Tassin out of Negaunee. Pass back is a good one, and the kick is blasted through, and it is good. So you have 6 seconds left, and this is the first lead for the North All-Stars, and it took till there was 6 seconds remaining here in the football game.
What a play. Just an amazing play.
What a final minute and what have you here. I think the North took over with 140-ish, right around in there, and they've scored twice in that 140. And we take another look at the touchdown toss. And Corp just lobbed it up there, and Tassin having to fight off the defender.
Stunning play. Stunning.
That's a great no call, too, because there really was no interference. It could have gone either way. They were both jostling for position on the ball, and Santi just couldn't get there. As we zoom in on it, and you look at the strength of Tassin right there just to pull it away. And the first one there to help him celebrate is a Marquette Redmond. It's the great thing about this All-Star game is it makes the greatest friends out of former enemies.
Absolutely, and you know, both those guys had great careers at their respective high schools. Burmeister at Marquette, Dylan Tassin at Nagani, and you throw Ozzie Corp in there for throwing the touchdown at Ishpeming. Obviously, we know his resume is pretty long, but
well, the way this has been going, the final 5-6 seconds here is going to be an eternity. Well, they blast it right to Berg. That's a shock. He's got it at the 20 and a throw across, and they've got an opening. The South moving upfield, and that's going to do it for time on the clock, and the North All-Stars, good grief. They pull it out 28-21 here on a Saturday afternoon in Marquette.
What a finish there. What a great throw across. I thought shades of the old Music City Miracle happening there. Could have been the Marquette Miracle, but Ben Moreau just getting tackled, and this Northern team coming back from trailing the whole game to finally taking a lead with under a minute left and winning it 28-21. What an amazing sequence to end this game. Shake
hands as all-star teams will generally do, and both teams deserving of a handshake after this one. What a game and what a finish. 28-21 the North. We'll show you how it happened here this afternoon when we come back. It's the UP All-Star football game. Post-game in a moment here on Fox UP. Well, just another lazy summer afternoon, Ethan.
Yeah, what a wild finish. That's a total understatement there. A wild finish here at the Superior Dome. But yes, a game that I think you mentioned a lot. You were wondering why it was disbanded for so long, and then it comes back, and we've had some amazing games, and today just mind-blowing, and just so many great athletes that we saw out here. 2016
really the frosting on the UP All-Star football cake. This has been a great, great game. Glad you could join us this afternoon. Let's take a look at how it happened in that second half. It was 14-13 at halftime, the South with the lead. The North never led until the very end.
This is Nick Lacrosse running the ball, and he takes a few good shots out there. He's a great running quarterback as well. I didn't really get to see that, and then we watch him here. That was one of the worst mistakes he made all game. Phil King, a huge interception after a Patrick Burmeister stumble, and that set up a little bit of momentum, to say the least, as you watch. Just a beautiful job there.
But again, as we talked about during the course of the broadcast, you're seeing a lot of highlights here, but you're not seeing a whole lot of scoring. That third quarter was defense, 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 despite the amount of ball movement that there was.
Yeah, Nathan Nowak was trying to make something happen. A great run, and we talked about his legs a lot, and you see a lot of up-top tackling on him, and that doesn't work when you got a guy like Nathan Nowak. And then eventually you see here he's going to throw across the middle, and this was a huge play. Sam Santi out of Kingsford just making a great play. He gets down the sideline, runs a man over. He was very hard to take down, and that was when they were finally in the goal line. But like you said, not a lot of scoring here, and they actually had a flip field.
And again, back we go, another pick, and this time it is a guy you talked about all game long, Finnegan out of Ishpeming.
Thomas Finnegan, he's a high jumper, he's a track player, he's a basketball player, and he makes a beautiful interception there. And then you turn around, and Patrick Burmeister, I was saying this was a lot. You get him on that little post route, he's going to make a play happen for you, and you watch him here just getting open. He beat Ben Moreau, had a great first step, but nothing came off that drive as well. And then you turn back around, and you see back to this Southern team that was really just trying to get the ball in some sort of motion, as just play after play after play of them trying to run the ball or try and get some sort of quick pass going. And then finally Nathan Nowak finds Sam Santi and Mike Graves at the same time, and it ended up being an incomplete pass.
So again, back and forth we went in that third quarter. Almost another pick that time by the North All-Stars, and now a key play. They bring it in and they make the touchdown catch. It's good. Or the completion rather, that was down near the goal line. But again, the North rises to the occasion, and then again the South just trying to get something in there, and here it is. This is a big, big play, and the touchdown, not wide open, but just a great play.
And that was just Santi going up and grabbing a ball in the air. Nathan Nowak, give him credit as he rolls all the way to the right and then throws that one up on a prayer, and it's caught, but that didn't mean much.
Well, and it really at that point it felt like the South was generally in control, and then this guy, Ozzie Corp, really kind of took over. Burmeister right there, the former Marquette Redman, he hauls it in. Now this is late. This is with under a minute to go here in the ball game. And they finally switched to the far side and hauling that in is Goodrow out of Baraga. This makes it a 2-point ball game. The 2-point conversion goes to Tassin, the former Negaunee Miner, and now we're tied. So we're looking, okay, what are we going to do for overtime? We're down about 40 seconds to go. The South with the football, and it's just not going the way that they want. And they throw it up. This one's picked off, and then the North. And the miracle finish here in Marquette. They had to punt it away. The fumbled punt, the grab there, and then Ozzie Corp and the North All-Stars just kind of doing what they do. Where's Mr. Tassin from Negaunee? There he is, and that, my friends, is your ball game. That touchdown with 6 seconds remaining. And you get another look at it here from high atop the Superior Dome. Brings it in. Great coverage. You can't cover it any better than that. And that's where we wind up here at 28-21. The North All-Stars in just a take-your-breath-away football game here this afternoon.
Dylan Tassin did what he's supposed to do as a receiver. He went up and got it, and that's what you're supposed to do. That's an amazing finish, and like you said, a minute 40 remaining in this game, and 2 touchdowns came out of that last remaining minute 40.
We hope you enjoyed it. It was a great afternoon here in the Superior Dome in Marquette, and we'll do it again next year. What do you say, my partner?
Sounds great to me.
North with the win, 28-21. UP All-Star football game, a presentation of Fox UP.